Oops. There we go. Okay. Oops, didn't do that either. Oh. Okay, 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 okay. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Let's see here. How we doing? Let's see. How we doing? Nice. What up, Bob? Caught me doom scrolling. You caught me doom scrolling. What up, dial? What up, man? I'm so glad I got new headphones. These freaking I got big ears, right? And I had these other headphones that were on the ear, not over the ear. So, like they pushed my big ass ears into my glasses into my head, and then these like have like they're like freaking super big. Nice. It sound good. What's up? What's up, nerds? Yeah, we're gonna and but I got one of these things on it. I wish I actually got a 10-foot cable, but I got this is quarter inch to eighth inch, and I got a 10-foot eighth inch to eighth inch. So they're very comfortable. I'm really, really surprised. Really, really surprised. And they sound really good. I've done professional recording. I owned a recording studio, and I used to use $800 AKG studio monitors. And I'm very, very surprised how comfortable and how good they sound. I'm really, really surprised. I got uh high dynamic, not high dynamic. Well, I don't know if it's a dynamic range. A very high range microphone, like it goes about 20 hertz to 40 kilohertz, so it can go low. It can go low, low. What up, Jim? Ah, man. Let's see. Let's do this. Oops, that's what I want to do here. But yeah, really comfortable. Really comfortable. The Legend is live in Vibra Pro. All right, let's see if we can find.
Are exfoliated before wax.
We exfoliating before waxing. All right, let me see if I can do this here. All right, let's see if we can find something fun, brother. Listen, I was at my neighbor's house, and her and her husband were chilling, whatever, and I'm redoing their closet. They had water issue, whatever. Floor got wackadoodled, so I ripped up the floor, and they had one of those old. Not, I mean, I guess they're considered old closet made. Like the wire that like clips onto the wall. They like have a bunch of um freaking what do you call those things? Anchors. Yeah, drywall anchors and clips, and they like clips on, and like it's like where you see all of like the white wire racks. So they have like this 45-degree angle bar that goes, well, when the flood happened, it kind of made the drywall, it weakened the drywall because it got wet, and then so they pushed through the wall, everything came down, wall was all damaged. So I pulled all the old stuff off, and because you have to use so many anchors because they're not driven into the studs, there was holes all through. So I removed all the drywall, put all the new drywall in, mudded it up today. And I can't remember where I was going with that story anymore. But yeah, so I did that anyway. Yeah, actually, I can. You can do drywall? Actually, I can. I just got home from the hospital, got a newborn daughter at home. My son doesn't know what he thinks. He's 2. Nice. Enviro Pro, great. Congratulations, my brother. Congratulations. The old heave ho will produce the deepest sound. Heave ho. thieves and beggars, hoist the colors high, heave ho. Thieves and beggars, hoist the colors high. I can't remember the words. Yes, sir. Heave ho, thieves and beggars, hoist the colors high. Yeah. No. Pause those lyrics. What? What up? Call me love. Oh, thieves and beggars, hoist the colors high. Hoist the colors high. I can't remember the words anymore. I thought you were saying N-word. N-word. Racial term. Voice look up. Oh, gotcha. Da. I see what you're saying. I'm a little slow. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, let's do this real quick. Let's see. All right, where are we at? Rib removal. All right, we're gonna do. You been feeling low? Feeling low. Feeling low. Yeah, I used to feel low. I don't feel low anymore. I feel pretty good. I had a bunch of vitamin deficiencies. I had to get I went and got a vitamin and mineral deficiency test after I've been on antidepressants, anti-anxieties, and ADHD medication. Blah, 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 blah. So I'm off it. I'm not on anything. I don't even drink or smoke weed. Nothing. My parents, my mother and my father, they're not on any medications anymore either. My mom was on like anti-cholesterol lower medications and all kinds of wackadoo thyroid medication. So was my dad with thyroid medication, other stuff. They're off everything also after them getting vitamin and mineral deficiency tests and saying, "Oh, I wonder how long these deficiencies have been lasting." But yeah, so it's definitely something you should look into doing. Good, yeah, that's some of the best 2 things you can put in your body. Use saffron too. Is that a red dildo? No, it's a shotgun microphone. I used to do drugs. Still do, but I used to too. We're talking about my past, which is a lot like my present. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing how if you don't go out and get a lot of sunlight without sunscreen and stuff on your skin, like actual sunlight hitting your body, you're it's very, very difficult. People say, "Oh, I drink milk." Right? They like because it says there's vitamin D in milk, but there's such a minuscule amount of vitamin D that they add to milk. It's not anywhere near what you need in a day. So, like, yeah, I take both sublingual D3 and I take dermal, which is drops that go on the skin. I think it's right here, actually. Right here. Bam. D3. And you just put it on just like freaking, like how you would put cologne or perfume on. You can also eat it if you want to, right? But bad on the skin. Sleeping a little too much? Hey, if your body needs to repair itself, it needs to repair itself. What's heavier, a gallon of water or a gallon of butane? A gallon of water. Butane's lighter than water, right? 12 hours now instead of 6. 12 hours. Yeah, right. Hey, same thing happened to me. But I tell you what I think it is, like why I think that starts to happen. Like we don't fast as a people, as like Americans. We don't fast. We like eat before we go to bed and eat when we wake up, and we don't get like good 12-hour fast. And I think it's because our bodies keep saying, "Hey, you're missing something, some vitamin or mineral. So eat." because that's the only way you're going to get vitamins and minerals in your body, right? So it says I didn't get enough what I needed from you, so do that again. So you get hungry, hungry, hungry. But now I only eat one big meal a day and maybe a snack towards the end of the night. And that's it. And I feel fine. I got plenty of energy. I can do plenty of work. A gallon of water is heavier because butane is a lighter fluid. Yeah, but gallons, not a weight. Gallons of a volume. Sparkling water is okay. No pond water. No pond water, Luke. I haven't had that. I haven't had a thing the last 2 days, but water. Yeah, and I mean, and like if you ever really want to look into fasting, we've done videos on it. We've done streams on it. It like in Russia, the government sponsors fasting centers for people that have issues that aren't being helped with pharmacology. They're sent to go not eat for a couple of days. They call it a water fast. They just drink water throughout the day. And when your body uses like sugars that are in your bloodstream for energy, and if you keep adding sugars to your body, it just keeps burning it out of your blood, and that's why like fats and stuff develop on the body. But after about a couple hours, 12 hours or so, it switches. There's none left, so then it switches over to taking fat from your body and converting that fat into something that it can use as energy. What up, John? That's your body telling you it needs vitamins. That's why people think fruits and vegetables don't fill you up. They do, but your body's screaming for more vitamins. I'm just fasting to speed up my metabolism more. That's what I mean. I got a very, I'm 6'4", 165 pounds. I'm like a 3-time-a-day pooper, and I only eat once a day. Like once, one meal. I don't eat breakfast or dinner. I guess you can say I just eat dinner, and then okay, about 2:30, I'll have a meal. And then at about 10 p.m., I'll have a pack of graham crackers, cinnamon, with a big old glass of raw milk. And then I'm good. I mean, and then it's like I have to tell myself to eat at 2:30. Like I'm like, it's not like, oh, I'm hungry. I rarely get the feeling of hunger anymore. Which is interesting. A gallon of butane would still weigh 8.34 pounds. I'm cutting, getting that. You're gonna get buff. Would you agree that Sharia communities are unconstitutional? Would you agree that Sharia communities are unconstitutional because they oppose our founding principles of freedom from religious persecution? So, and that's an interesting conversation to have too, because there are religious freedoms in America, but you can't infringe on other people's freedoms, other people's rights. So, like people say, all the time, like they think that they're expressing one of their rights, but it's infringing on someone else's rights. So yes, so that's an interesting thing. Yeah, and it looks like, but the Jews do it too. The Jews like I mean, not Sharia law, but like one of the issues people have with the Sharia police force. There's the MCT. I think it's called MCT, the Muslim Community Task Force. They actually have like cop cars and stuff. Well, the Jews have the same type of thing in New York. They have like a task force. But what the Muslims are doing is they go around and they'll like do like loud calls to prayer like 5 o'clock in the morning and five times throughout the day and stuff like that. So you can't force your religion on other people, and having a Sharia only community would exclude people and their religion, so that would be inherently unconstitutional. Volume is low. Volume is low. Volume is low. Maxed out. Everybody else is low for everybody else. La 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 la. Looks like it's peaking the meter. Tom, I'll have one large meal, then repeat. And repeat. Take care of my macros. It's not an interesting conversation. It's settled law. And no, it's an interesting conversation. You and your dude, and I was thinking about the conversation me and you had yesterday, and after like hearing what Tim Walz did, absolutely, the Democrats are actively releasing pedophiles. It's not even a question. The guy that was almost the vice president of the United States just pardoned a guy that raped a 10-year-old girl multiple times. That's crazy. Yeah, definitely, definitely not until the Democrats get their thing straight are we voting Democrat again. No, mister, there isn't a steel feathers thing. It's a gallon. It's volumetric. A gallon of butane only weighs 4.8. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Calls to prayer are not Sharia law. Jesus freaking Christ. What up, Scott? Thanks for being a great answer based on the trending response and getting out the Sharia community in Arkansas needs to be addressed. Do you know what settled law means? That means no religious law supersedes the Constitution. It's settled law. But does it infringe on other people's rights? It does. Like, can you have communities that disclude other people? So if they say this is a Sharia only community, then that's different than saying if you want to be a Christian or an atheist or a Jew and come into the Sharia community, by law they can't exclude you. They can't discriminate against you. Anyway. All right, Scott, you're working off a bag of news. They released the new party. Will be a party. Yeah, well, yeah. He released them, and then the feds had to deport him. I just listened to WhiteHouse.gov. All right, sorry there, Scott. It doesn't exist. Salam alaikum, watcher. All right, so we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back to what we were doing today. We're gonna go back to the costs of beauty. All right, here we go.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
I'm the girl that got all her ribs removed.
Spent $80,000 to get
freedom for religious
heart
persecution is not strong enough. Founding principle of the nation needs to be
surgery that has looked natural.
Let's tattoo freckles on my face.
2 months ago, I had 10 of my ribs surgically fractured.
Okay, so it's been a week since my limb lengthening surgery.
Include light sensitivity and scratchiness.
He had 2 surgeries where doctors broke his bones in 6 places.
And this is the final result.
I'm still absolutely terrified of sneezing.
There are some men out there that are breaking their legs to be taller.
Look at that. It looks worse than a Halloween contact.
So getting into bed, I twisted it a certain way and I felt like a pop.
That basically hangs you upside down and decompresses your spine.
Come with me to get my permanent vampire fangs.
We need a new amendment that shall not let Sharia laws will prevent slippery
23.5 hours a day.
Here are tattooed freckles for my client Katrina.
And I just decided to enhance them a bit.
This is to anyone thinking of getting freckles tattooed on their face.
You love North Korea? And the land of the free. Sorry, the land of the fee.
If you thought cosmetic procedures had reached their peak, the trends are popping up in 2026. These trends might just change your mind. Not because people are getting more Botox or getting more fillers or just booking more of these appointments, but because some of these procedures are gaining attention today, and somehow it sounds like something out of a science fiction movie.
Listen, and I think a lot of people are, I think a lot of this gender dysphoria that people are experiencing, and a lot of and just dysphoria in general, I think a lot of it, at least a good 20%, I would guesstimate that you have these people that are using filters online all the time. And when they look in the mirror, they're looking in their phone for so many more hours a day than they're looking in the mirror. And then if they're seeing themselves and they make videos, they see themselves filtered on the internet, and they show their friends filtered versions of them on the internet. And then when they look into the mirror, they don't recognize who they see. There's a interesting thing about people that get nose jobs end up having dysphoria, like a large, like 80 to 90%, because there's something about like what you expect to see, your nationality and your ethnicity, that you can see basically a nose. Mine's not, because mine's freaking fake. But so like when people get nose jobs, they continually get other a lot. You have a nose job's like the gateway drug of plastic surgery. So yeah, it's absolutely wackadoodle, and you have to wonder how many people show themselves to the world like when I was a kid, there was no internet like that. There was no social media like that. So you had to start a band and stand up on stage in front of people for people to see you look like. But now the first glimpse of you the world gets is often a filtered version from social media. And so as you get older and now it's time to start dating or going out in the world physically, you're like, oh my goodness, I have to look the way I look on my social meds. I'm just a stoner. Kids are so dumb. They'll do the Tide Pod challenge. Yeah, listen, and I see a lot in these videos here where you say it's people saying, "Listen, girls, don't do everything you see on TikTok," and you see people with very disfigured faces and stuff from trying new fads. I don't give a about politics historically. No power. I have to just be in the present where just be in the present where there's no thoughts. What up, Infidel? You're literally the coolest guy on YouTube. That's why you're shadow banned. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, seems like it. Right now, I was missing Angela so bad because I saw one who knows her, and they told me she's not been herself since I left. Yeah, brother. Yeah. I usually start with the nose, then spend the next 20 years trying to fix a million other ways. Yeah. And imagine looking at yourself in the mirror as you grow up from 0 years old to freaking 18 years old. And then like your face is setting in its shape. And then you're like you've been watching yourself grow. You look back in pictures and you keep staring at your nose, staring at your nose, staring at your nose. And then you go get your nose done. And then as you get older, like you start to naturally age, and things that have cosmetic procedures done, especially Botox starts to dissolve bone, not from the Botox, but from the muscles not being activated and the muscles not pulling on the bone starts to diminish. So then you get dips in the bones and whatnot, and you start to have these weird features. And then you need fillers to take care of that. And then now that you have fillers and the skin starts to be stretched just ever so much more from the filler, as that dissolves out, then you get the wrinkles from the aged skin. And people are selling it as preventive aging. Like, hey, you're 18 years old, get Botox now so you don't get wrinkles in the future. But that's not the way collagen depletion works. I don't know what happens as long as I can do it good. All right, Josh. Welcome to the family, brother. What up, Profac? Why did they make Tide Pods so delicious? Rude, right? Rude. That's what I'm saying. The power of being protected class. Special little unicorn seems to be equally delicious. There's nothing more tragic than a pretty girl taking it to surgery far and looking like a different person. I agree. It's absolutely heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. And that's why I wanted to start getting on that mission of I'm trying to contact, I want to make a change in the education system and the health system to make sure that a lot of these people that have anxiety and stuff when they shouldn't, and depression when they shouldn't, it's not from a vitamin or mineral deficiency, which is the number one reason to have depression and anxiety if there's no reason, if there's no outside stimulus causing it. So how much could we change this if people saw themselves and they weren't just in a deficit and then just saying, I need to make myself happier, and people on the internet say, oh, I got my boobs done, my nose done, whatever, and I'm infinitely happier, because they're lying. They're selling a freaking product. Kids were drinking Drano. I'm glad I'm not blocked here anymore. Happy Friday, Georgie. Yeah, it's definitely crazy. Everyone makes fun of my giant nose, but I don't care. I can do a backflip. Drive a golf ball 300 yards and snowboard. Right, yeah, right. Yeah, look, people call me Jewish. They're like, hey, Jew, whatever. I'm like, I'm not even Jewish. But it is weird. I have a very interesting point of view, because you can see, like, over like the past 6 months, how much more, before that, everybody was just like, be trans, be gay, but now it's like Jew. So you can see how the fads have shifted on who to hate, Let's go, boy. I have heart problems. I literally can't smoke or consume anything anymore. Did you pass it, brother? Fat bong, brother? When you're young and dumb, you think you're immortal. Yeah, zinc. That's what I take. I take zinc bisglycinate. Yeah, that's what I take. Zinc bisglycinate.
I'm gonna think I said this already, you know.
Dude, these eyeball things. Best way. It's not that. For men, typically, yes. I think women, it's a different ball game. I think women understand what pretty privilege is, and so if they go get busy in the world, or if they can't get busy, they're thinking, if I was prettier, I would be busier, because pretty girls get more higher raises, they get more jobs. And I think this is something that's pushed into the back of their head through social media and gossip channels and whatnot. So it and a lot of times busy for a woman is at a desk, and busy for a man can be at a desk or freaking putting up drywall, painting, freaking doing construction roads and whatnot. Adrenaline is the cure to depression. Yeah, it seems like it. No, I didn't, but it's still too much built in my system. It's true. Yeah, I agree. Best way to love yourself is all you got to happen.
Is this permanent?
Yeah, life's amazing. Life's amazing.
When the conversations mainly revolve around things like lip fillers, Botox, rhinoplasty, or that's a nose job, or even maybe a tummy tuck, these procedures alone usually, generate endless discussions online. But here we are in 2026. Once more, it feels like we have entered an entirely different era of cosmetic enhancement.
I literally have to change my lifestyle.
People are no longer just trying to smooth out a wrinkle. No, ma'am. Or even enhance.
I always wanted pretty privileges, that I got white privileges apparently still the way.
Some individuals are literally breaking their legs in order to become taller. Others are permanently changing their
see it all the time. These girls are solid sixes getting $500 doing this.
And some are even paying to remove their ribs, a tattoo on their freckles.
Right, and also you get a lot, you get booby streamers who are absolutely using filters and Facetune and stuff like that. So, often you have the booby streamer to OnlyFans pipeline, because, at least if they stay on the internet, they can continue to use the filtering and that they use. Do you recall? Yeah, Funny Farm. Yeah, absolutely. Good movie. Job, bro. That's the best way to live. The afterlife is real fantasy. If afterlife is real or a fantasy, I don't care. I live without regret. I have kinky sex, risky activities, all the thrill. I don't live with fear. There you go. It's one way to do it, brother. Yeah, everyone that's gotten to know me here, so here's some advice. I'm going through a breakup, and what's working is riding my Trek bicycle around, marking the mountains working. Yeah, exercise definitely helps depression. This is why you see a lot of people, after breakups, you see them in the gym, I'm looking for a woman and not a girl, right? Yep, I got you, absolutely. Yep, understood. Buy a Trek bike with to deal with your depression. Don't take pills. I agree. Try your best to do it physically, to use your natural endorphins to help with your depression, to get you past it. I've never eaten sheep testicles. I've seen them cooked Rocky Mountain oysters, but I've never eaten them. I got married today, and now I got unmarried and married again. Then I got unmarried, then I got married. Hey, shocked dog, brother. Shocked dog. We'll save you from Hassan. Georgie, from what I have, from what I looked into, you don't die. I feel great, positive after workouts. Yeah, me too. You can go to another reality where it's okay, like magic. No, it is like magic, right? Do people actually find freckles attractive? Everyone I meet ever had them usually hated them. So people that don't have them want them, and people that have them don't want them, because it's insecurity. The people that have them think that that's what's making their face ugly. And the people that don't have them think not having them is what's making their face ugly. Yeah, that's crazy stuff. I got lived, then unalived. Lived, then unalived. We got to start exercising, but I realize it's not going to distract me to lower my heart failure. Yay. I mean, I think it's one of the only ways to drastically lower your risk of heart failure. You are my new friend. Potato. Thank you. Working out is amazing. Dopamine, man. Agreed. I wish I started doing it earlier in life. Absolutely. Quantum immortality. Eat garlic. I eat a lot of garlic. I love it.
On their faces and even reshaping their teeth to resemble.
Did you see that? That's freaking tattooed freckles.
On their freckles, on their faces, and even
It
reshaping
said
their teeth to
4
resemble
pulmonary
vampire
embolisms.
fangs. And listen, guys, all
Jeez. Are you on vitamin K2? Did your doctor put you on, test your vitamin K2 levels? Wow. The best thing I ever did for my self-esteem was to grow a beard. I'm never shaving off my double chin disguise. Good for your heart. Yep. I can't grow one. I can barely grow. I'm 49 and my beard is just filling in like completely. Like I was able, like at like 35, I was able to grow a full goatee. But I didn't even have to shave until I was in my 20s. Like I just had a little bit of peach fuzz. Not yet. One more still in my leg. Lots of doctor's visits now. Jeez. Yeah. I say this. Have your doctor do a vitamin and mineral deficiency test. Because a lot of times the causes of these things, the ultimate buildup causes, like why do you end up with calcium in the bloodstream? Well, vitamin D3 is what moves calcium out of the intestines and into the bloodstream. But then it'll stay in your bloodstream and it can cause clotting or clogging and what do you call that stuff? But vitamin K2 is what, so you eat food. Okay, your body, that's how your body gets its vitamins and minerals. Vitamin D from the sun turns cholesterol into vitamin D3. Sunlight hits your skin, turns cholesterol to vitamin D3. D3 takes calcium out of the gut, or out of the intestines, and puts it into the bloodstream. But it just floats around the bloodstream, calcifying the bloodstream, unless you have enough vitamin K2 to pull it out of the bloodstream and into the teeth and bones. And a lot of people don't eat like fermented foods, and that's pretty much the only like really good source of it. So I mean, it's possible. You should definitely check to see if you have deficiencies. That's the number one thing. What's good for your heart? Energy drink sings. Hey now. Well, Rich, thing is I inherited my mom's heart problems. I can take my medication to lower my LPA levels, but it won't go below 120 and 100. You're already at risk for heart failure. How come you didn't get the message about the difference between how many people treat me? How come you didn't get the message about the difference between how people treat me with my temporary teeth versus wear them? I get the new ones on August 3rd. I don't know. Vitamin D, you lack vitamin D? Yeah, it's very important. Doctor said I had a 10% chance of surviving after I survived. Man, I've been waiting all day for you to go live. Thank you, Les Couple. I'm back. I was plagued with gout for years. Ended up tracing it back to MSG. Now I check for everything. I haven't had a heart attack for a year. Nice. Well, nice. Yeah, nice. And listen, like my parents are in their 70s, and since their 40s, they were on medications, cholesterol lowering medications, statins, thyroid medications, and all that. And they're after getting their vitamin and mineral deficiencies in check, they're off all of their pharmaceuticals, even their thyroid medication. They're taking a desiccated bovine thyroid rather than taking a pharmaceutical, and they're out working in the yard, freaking building stuff, working every single day, drinking beers at night, you know. And it's just like it's amazing. If you don't know, if you know you're not eating well, then you're definitely not going to get the vitamins and minerals you need. And nobody talks about it. Even doctors, and like when they talk about food, they talk about macros, they talk about fat, sodium, cholesterol, proteins. But did you get enough vitamin A? Did you get enough of the B vitamins? Like every day, like, and that's what needs to change. We need to change the way we talk about our diet and the way it's taught. My kidneys are perfect. Drink lemon tea. Lemon tea clears the blood. Space Cowboy. What up, ND, brother? He's not who he claims to be. We're watching The Price of Beauty, The Cost of Beauty. All I'm saying is there's absolutely a difference between being good looking and having something off. I noticed it big time. No, absolutely, absolutely. Pretty privilege, they call it. I'm going through the process of being diagnosed with long haulers. Talk to your doctor about N-acetylcysteine. I'm still the same person, just throws people off. Low-key bummed out because I know family history of one of the lost to health here, so I gotta get locked to ASAP if I want to have an actual family with my wife. You know, no, absolutely, absolutely. But listen, genetics are interesting, okay? Like, you might have those genetics, but that gene doesn't necessarily need to be expressed. It might be for a reason that the gene that's causing that issue is being expressed. That's why you've got to make sure that you don't have any deficiencies. It's the most important thing. It's the most important thing. Unions are important to clean. Unions are important to clean. Good for your skin. Peppers too. Kill some worms inside you. Yeah, a lot of stuff does. I'm just gonna watch the chat drama. Watch the drama chat. There you go. A goat attack. I meant. I haven't had a heart attack yet. Touch wood. Crazy how one can go cause so much trouble for us. You never know what's setting off your ailments. Yep. Onions. And these a Danish freak. Gout, not goat. Goat attack. Never had a goat attack either. I can't stop thinking about how different it feels being alone versus having a girlfriend. As much as I miss her, I feel free again. Today I noticed that I don't get mad alone. Yeah, brother. Yeah, listen. Yeah, right. Those are your triggers. You have to realize what's causing your anxiety and pain and then stay away from it. Remember, you can forgive people without ever seeing them again. You can forgive people for what they've done to you and just cut them off for the rest of your life. And that's the best way to grow. Because if you don't, you just get abused again and again. I had the bones taken out of my neck because of thyroid. I was like, the thyroid? Jeez.
Hold on. 1 second. Before you guys get upset in the comment section, which you guys hardly do, but if I say it anyway, this video is not about judging anybody. As I say, people free for do what they want for do with them own body, your money, your body.
Want to do with their own body.
As usual, you know, we have to talk about the cautionary tale, because if somebody wants to spend their own money on cosmetic procedures and they fully understand the risk involved,
I'm going to schedule another appointment with my doctor to see what I can do next with man. My heart's been hurting this last year.
And if you thought of
there's 3 things you do for your body. You pray / meditate, okay? You eat, drink, you put food in your mouth, drink in your mouth, okay? And you exercise. For this body that you're driving around this earth, that's what you do for it. You've got to make sure everything that it needs comes in. It comes in. You've got to make sure. A lot of things that are considered genetic could be because you eat the same type of meals that your mom and dad ate and your family eat. You might be missing on a huge section of foods. So you may be missing on huge sections of where you get those. Or you may have an issue where you can't absorb, and you might have that genetic. Like maybe you can't absorb magnesium or potassium, and your mom can't absorb magnesium, potassium, and whoever had that same heart issue can't absorb magnesium or potassium or anything, something like that. So if you can't, that might be what's causing the heart problem, or that gene to be expressed. That's why it's so important. And that's why I get so pissed off when doctors don't do it. They say, oh, have you been eating? But yeah, I've been eating bullshit. I've been eating Skittles and Big Macs. So of course you're not going to have what you need. It's just the most important thing. Beauty's in the eye of the beef holder. I was scared, by the way, the first time. It took 3 hours, 2 or 3 hours. Ooh. That doesn't sound fun. My sister Lisa had issues with her thyroid her whole life. Yeah, a lot of people do. A lot of people get it radiated. Graves' disease. Face, hands, I went numb, my chest, couldn't breathe. I thought I was having a stroke. Jesus. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, and Space Cow looks like a salmon. I got my thyroid tested. It was ultra positive. Thank God. Thank God, brother Mawash. That's wild. Let's get height. That's wild. Let height get the people. I'm not tall, but I feel bad for anyone shorter than me. People are breaking their legs to get tall. I'm 6'4". My dad's 6'3.5". He's shrunk over the years. My brother's 6'4" too. No fast food. Yeah, no. That stuff's unbelievable. I think fast food, at least the current recipes, they're going to be by the wayside in the next 5 years. I think they absolutely know. Like Brazil, they can't sell processed foods, ultra processed foods in schools. It's got to be less than 10%. And in America, they're trying to get it so hospitals and schools cannot serve ultra processed foods because they're found to be that bad on vitamin and mineral absorption. it damages your intestines, and it keeps you from being able, and it causes a histamine spike. Lamau, standing over a grill and inhaling burger grease smoking, and I'm out. You got to convert that. You got to get that sunlight, brother. Bro, my girlfriend has crashed out because she lost play in MM2. MM2. That's murder. True about forgiveness. I forgive people I don't speak to anymore. It's still good for the mind. Yeah. That's the thing. When people come through your life and hurt you, you forgive them, and then you let them go about their way to go hurt other people. You don't keep them around. It's like if you hit yourself with a taser once, you forgive yourself for doing that, and then you don't hit yourself with the taser again. You mean, that was stupid. Brazil. 80% of the supermarket is BS. Yeah, absolutely. Dude, try shopping. Try going shopping the next time you go and look on the labels under the ingredients and see and try to find stuff that doesn't say bioengineered organisms or bioengineered ingredients. The school RIP sandwiches were much back in the day. The rectangle pizza, yeah, it was good stuff. What up, Shiva? Is it good? I mean, if you love your girlfriend, it's fine, yeah. Rib sandwiches. The McRibs. I don't think we had rib sandwiches in school.
Fillers and veneers were a commitment. Just wait until you hear what some of these people are doing just for extra few inches of height. You know what I mean? With that being said, let's jump into the length of it all. Yes, guys, pun intended. Let's watch.
Oh my God, I swear I'm not even making this up. There are some men out there that are
She's probably making it up.
Legs to be taller. Oh my God, I thought you guys were joking.
Oh my God, there's some women out there that are cutting their chests open to make their boobs bigger.
Men will really do anything but go to therapy. And I've personally gotten cosmetic procedures done myself. But I'm gonna tell you why I think this one doesn't really sit right with me. Every single after video I've seen, these men literally can't walk without a cane. I looked into the surgery so you don't have to. They actually put a metal rod into the person's bone and they expand it over time, making them taller. Not only is it said to be excruciating, and I believe it. I've been scrolling. These men have to undergo
insanity
physical therapy
eyes
for years before they can walk without a limb, and they keep going back for more and more because it's an
wrote me a check for $40. Couldn't cash it when the grocery store. I took it to the bank and they charged me $7. Yeah, highway robbery.
And after it healed, it never hurt. These men are getting their legs.
She's not getting the man she wants in life. She did all this stuff to be hot, and she can't land the man she wants, so she's got to degrade men and call out what men do. Because men are just degraded, are beat the crap by women for being short, so they're doing something about it. No one was telling you your boobs were too small except for your friends, your other girls. No guys were telling you, sorry, I can't date you, your boobs are too small. No, absolutely. Guys know the smaller the boobs, the better the relationship. Absolutely. And this woman's crazy. I've been trying to get sunlight more and more and more. I'm going to head out and get back to work. All right, brother, you really got to. There's a reason it shines outside out there. It's one of the things that you absolutely need every day. Sorry, I was comforting my girlfriend. Making a turn to sexy Tom Hardy. Take a bloody. There was these guys that wear shoes to boost their height by a little bit. I've seen. Yeah, a lot of people do that. A lot of people do that. You see, once you know what they look like, you'll see them a lot.
Done to be taller but can't even walk for years. Hey, listen, I know that there's a lot of men whose biggest insecurity might just be their height, but this whole height thing is really not that big of a deal outside of social media. Like, before breaking your leg,
I can't stand those. I can't stand fake teeth. I can't stand these fake teeth like this. I broke something. Come on. Let me see if I can find them. Open your mouth. I can't stand these big fake teeth. Like the super pure porcelain white. I'm going to write a book about diabetes called The Last Marshmallow. Sorry, deep voice. Comforting me, girlfriend. Yes, right. She's talking about her insecurities. So she's like, but yeah, I can still do it. I can still walk without canes. Yeah, listen, it doesn't take that long to heal from. In 6 months, people are playing basketball. You can sure find people that have issues still. The lady on the left looks too good. And think about for how long you had that trend where women bashed on men saying, if they're not 6'3" and freaking six packs and blah, 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 don't even comment, I'm a baddie. Yeah, turn the filters off. Wipe your face off. See what happens. And all their money goes to the salon. Right, yeah. There are things called stilts to make people look taller. They're using the circus clowns. But yep. Yes, absolutely. She's like, oh my God, guys. And did you see the intro? How she started back like a full bar, 3/4 body shot, walking in with like her boobs out and her belly out, like wearing like panties. And look at this. This is her.
That being said,
okay, so here's her intro shot.
Let's
Can't
jump
believe
into
they lengthened
the
before
lens
they
of it all. Yes, guys, pun
Oi,
intended.
matey.
Let's watch.
All right, look.
Oh my God.
Okay, look. Oh my God, guys. Oh my God. Did you know that guys lengthen their legs? I've had every ounce of fat sucked out of my body and shoved into my boobs and my butt. But guys, yeah, if you add the amount of time you were out of commission for all of your plastic surgery, it probably adds up to longer than these guys were out of commission for their leg lengthening.
I swear I'm not even making this up. There are some
I'm
men
not
out there
even
that are
making this up.
breaking their legs to be taller.
Can you believe that?
I thought you guys were joking.
I thought you were joking.
They will really do anything
They'll do
but go to
anything
therapy.
but go to
And I've
therapy.
personally gotten cosmetic procedures done myself. But I'm gonna tell you why I think this one doesn't really sit right with me. Every single video I've seen, these men literally can't walk without a cane. I looked into the surgery so you don't have to. They actually put a metal rod into the person's bone.
Not much.
And they expand it over time, making them taller. Not only is it said to be excruciating.
Look at those freaking chiclets.
And I believe it. I've been scrolling. These men have to undergo physical therapy for years before they can walk without a limb. And they keep going back for more and more because it's an addiction.
It's an addiction, just like yours. So things look bad, your back's against the wall, your whole existence seems hopeless, you feel filthy like a drive path who can't face the world sober and dopeless. Nah, face it, sober and dopeless. It makes it more interesting. How's therapy gonna make you taller? She's stupid. She just wanted to make a video. Look at the crazy eyes. Do you know how difficult it is to be able to see the full iris in people's eyes? When you draw faces, the eyes, you can't see the full round iris. Like, you see my eyes? You can't see the tops and bottoms of the round part. She's like, oh my God, guys, these guys are getting plastic surgery. Let's see. Coming at 22 viewers, a comment once, you're at 11 viewers. See myself out. Hey, you're all right, brother. On a video, it's a song.
For example, I got my nose done, and not only do I think it looks cuter, but I could also breathe better after the surgery. And after it healed, it never hurt. These men are getting their legs done to be taller, but can't even walk for years. Hey, listen, I know that there's a lot of men whose biggest insecurity might just be their height. But this whole height thing is really not that big of a deal outside.
Look at those freaking chompers, dude. Lip filler. Like the tops of her teeth should be up here where the bow of her lip is, and the top of her teeth is at the bottom of her lip. It's freaking crazy. Chopper, one giant tooth. What up, Mick Misfit? What up, Papa? I'm a student. She has horse teeth. She's full of plastic. She's full of makeup, and she's arguing that guys get leg lengthening surgeries because a guy's entire life he'll be treated better if he's taller. You're going to get treated worse as you get older, and he'll be treated better. So the investment in a guy's height will last his whole life. Yours will only last about 10 years. So no, it makes more sense. Yeah, ain't no problem being short if you got confidence and you got a reason to be confident. You've lost your way. You think your life is wrecked. Well, let me just say, correct. Angel dust. What? Wait, what? Would love to you. How would you criticize leg surgery when you had your nose done? And that's not all she's had done. She's had her boobs done. She's had her butt done. She's had her teeth done. Twinkle toes. I bet she's doing. Yeah, absolutely. She's rage baiting, 100%.
Outside of social media, like before breaking your legs, did you try logging off and dazzling women in?
I'm guessing she also had a brow lift or an eyelid lift, because it's very difficult. Like, look at this. Look at this chick over here on the right. See how you can't see the full iris of her eyes, and you can on this girl. I think she did surgery to make her eyes bigger, to make her. But that whole being able to see that uncanny valley where you can see the whole freaking iris, it's spooky. Yeah, she knows what she's doing.
In real life with your personality. What's crazy is that I know baddies in real life whose dating history looks like the end credits to the Snow White movie. Her and a couple dwarves. I know a thing or two about insecurities, okay? I wasn't always hot. I didn't have the most friends, but you know what? I took that pain and I crafted this amazing personality of mine. I don't know what you guys think, and I'm not making fun of these men. I don't wish them ill.
Yes, you do.
I hope that
You
they
absolutely
have a speedy
do.
recovery and they break a leg.
They say every inch counts, but how far would you go to get there? This guy blew a whopping $175,000 to transform his 5'8" frame and reach new heights in what's being dubbed the world's most painful operation. And the change has unfortunately come with some severe side effects. Jefferson Cosio stood at 5'8", an inch above the global male average, but unsatisfied with his natural height, he opted for the painful surgery, adding 4 inches to his stature, now towering at a solid 6 foot. 30-year-old underwent the knife last year for limb lengthening surgery.
I consider Peter's
involves
large
breaking the legs, implanting magnetic
dead.
ropes, and using a remote
You need to
control
discover
stretch
more
them
than
out
earthquake
over several
predictor.
months. Cosio had
Earthquake
to go
predictor
through the
says
procedure for 152 days.
Angela has
That's
perfect
nearly
teeth,
6
47
months.
years
All
old. I think
that
when they worked
just for
together,
4
she was
inches.
lying. All
The
her teeth were
Colombian
fake.
boasts 27.
Absolutely, all her teeth were fake. She's using meth, dude. There's somebody. She slept with somebody, dated somebody that got her dentures or got her implants. Happens all the time with pretty meth heads. Women wear makeup almost every day and it gives the illusion of youth. Yeah, they hate when older guys date younger women. Right. And the also a big problem is when you do these surgeries to be a Instagram baddie or an OnlyFans girl, you have a short window to make your money, but they feel so bad about doing it that they spend all of their money that they make on their first 2 years when they actually make good money to show that it's worth it. Like, I know, guys, you think I'm a hoe, but look, I've got a Lamborghini. And then one day it just switches off. Another girl comes on to OnlyFans and she's now the new girl. And then this girl loses all of her attention overnight. And then you have people begging for, like, hey, I got a $25,000 a month house payment, and can you guys go check out my and it's freaking cringe. And then it just overnight, if they were smart enough to invest it, but they never are, because they think, oh, I'm hot, I'm a baddie, and I'm not going to not be a baddie. I'm always going to be a baddie. And then when they're not a baddie anymore, the money cuts off, and then and they're wrecked. So if you're tooting your own horn with Olympic sport, where redhead would be on the podium for sure. Usually people who do meth have messed up teeth. Yeah, absolutely. What up? Live to survive. I would like to have 3 more inches, if you know what I mean.
1 million followers across Instagram and TikTok and shared shocking video footage of the operation, admitting that the surgery was purely for aesthetic purposes. Speaking in Spanish, he said in an Instagram video, "Yes, my legs are pretty, but I hate them. I am self-conscious like almost all human beings with some parts of my body, and I have a couple 100 million pesos to use here to change it." His surgeon assured him that he would be able to walk, exercise, and jump as normal after the procedure, but Jefferson has confessed to enduring sleepless nights due to the crippling pain. The last 11 or 12 days, I've only been able to sleep around 2 hours maximum, and that is constantly interrupted by periods of 15 to 20 minutes because of the pain in my legs. I've tried sleeping pills, but they don't work for me. The pain wakes me up and I feel devastated. The influencer has also had to battle trolls who slammed him for undergoing the surgery and blowing big bucks to boost his heights. One user wrote, "Absolutely not. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen." Another commented, "Some people are just never happy with themselves." Despite its hefty price.
But there are a lot of men who have height insecurity that are going to follow this guy, because they're going to say, maybe this is something that I can do. Maybe this is something, so they're watching, and then he's getting the benefit of that. And I can't guarantee, but I can pretty much guarantee that knowing that he was a famous influencer, he didn't pay that. He didn't pay that for that. They know the clinic that did his legs knew that they'll be getting lots more people. So that might have been the bill. That might have been what it was, but I guarantee they credited off 90% of it, if not 100% of it. Women leave life on easy mode. They're given their beauty from birth and men have to earn wealth. Two totally different ball games. So they'll never run around. Yeah, that's them. Uh-oh. What happened? I have to fill a gap in his tats. Yeah, that's what I was. It's the first thing I thought about. He's gonna stretch his tats out. Maybe I can handle the pain. Easy mode. It's definitely gonna be the next thing. Short guys have it rough out there. It's a shame, honestly. I agree. If you have been caught them before surgery, what I've said doesn't care. It's worth the risk. Are you a woman?
Plastic surgeons estimate the number of men undergoing limb lengthening surgeries has doubled in recent years.
So if you've never heard of leg lengthening surgery before, the concept can sound almost impossible to believe at first.
So he did his lower legs. I know you can do your femur also. I think you can gain 8 inches. I think you can gain 4 in the bottom leg and 4 in the thigh, the femur. So you can actually, like, if you're 5'2", you could go to 5'10". Like, but that's crazy. I think it's 1 millimeter a day. It's amazing how your bones can heal. Imagine men and women born with this small noses secretly wish they had big noses like Pinocchio. The bigger, the better.
Yes, ma'am. It is one of those procedures that seem more like something from maybe, as I say, a science fiction movie than more of modern medicine. Yet it is still a very real thing and has become increasingly popular in recent years. The basic idea is surprisingly straightforward.
Wow.
A person undergoes a surgery.
Look how long those freaking legs are.
For some individuals, height has been a source of insecurity for much of their lives, so we're not going to really, talk down too much on that. Others believe that being taller may improve their confidence, it may make them more attractive, it enhances their dating prospects, or even provide advantages in
they can probably kick a football or a soccer ball pretty damn hard, all that freaking length, all that leverage. That's probably AI lengthening, for the meme
situations. Whatever that motivation may be, that desire to gain additional height has led some people to pursue that procedure that requires a remarkable level of a commitment.
This guy, who goes by Mr. Broken Bones, spent $80,000 to get taller with height extension surgery starting at a height of 5'5". He had 2 surgeries where doctors broke his bones in 6 places and implanted devices called fixators to stretch his legs. While he recovered for 6 months, he lived in a rehab facility and had to turn a handle on his fixators every day. After that, he spent almost a year regaining the muscle he lost so he could walk normally again. This is him standing next to his friend before the surgery, and here he is after gaining 7 inches, now at 6 feet tall. What do you think? Would this be worth?
So this is a real thing. They cut the bone in 2 different places. They insert a metal rod,
use that
and
method
then
to maybe
new bone grows. This has been used for birth defects if one leg is shorter than the other at birth.
Somebody's got it.
Now, if you want to pay for it, you can go.
If you want to be a cosmetic doctor, brother, it's I think it's up 400% since the 1990s. Situation. Give guy the clavicle bones. They're clavicles? Clavicles. To give them wings? Can most women imagine being the last person to hug them being their mother? Millions of men the whole life without being touched by a woman. It's definitely hard mode. Yeah. No, without a doubt.
For it, and I don't blame the guys that want to do this, because most girls instinctively want to go for someone taller. So if this is something that bothers you and you can afford the money, pain, time it takes to deal with this, then I say more power to you. I know some people
You gotta be rich. How do you take a year off of life? Like, you made enough money to pay 80 grand on a leg lengthening surgery, and you're not, unless you gotta be making the money on the internet. He's gotta have a job like that. He went from the military though, and his name was Mr. Broken Bones, so he probably got on the internet when he decided to do it, or maybe it's a second account. I don't know. To have broader shoulders. I thought clavicles were the shoulder blades. Am I wrong? Someone pick up the barge joke for me. If girls could have chest, the man could have legs. Yeah, right, yeah. All right, but when women get things done, they know it's to make them more attractive, right? But when guys do that, they're like, that's cheating, right? Well, what do you expect? What do you expect?
Hate on it, but what do you guys think?
Me, I went through most of my life, especially my teenage years. I went through most of my life basically feeling like I wasn't good enough. I was made to feel good enough, mainly by those who were close to me, like friends, family, all these different things.
Yeah, great friends, great friends.
A joke.
Scapula,
so I did a lot of different things to improve myself, but
what up,
for me, it was just never enough because height was still always that one thing that was kind of in the back of my mind.
This guy here, he said it was 80 grand. The other guy said 150, but then they said pesos before, but I don't think it'll be 150,000 pesos. But regardless, he was an influencer before that, so I think it was written off. I think it was advertising. Scapula, gotcha, and behind him. If you see a study of how women treat them after the procedures finish, I highly doubt they would actually get more women being taller. You highly doubt they would get more women for just being taller? I mean, I don't know, brother. Some women, like if you look on dating apps, will not date guys. They won't even accept messages from guys under 6 foot. Like absolutely, they will not. I'd say most girls that people would want to date won't date guys under 6 foot. Like don't respond if you're under 6 foot. There was the 666, which was 6 foot, 6 pack, and 6 inches. That's what they used to put in the dating apps. That's why I would say you women are evil. 150,000 is like $1 trillion pesos. Earlobe lengthening so you can tie one side and knot in the other side bow. Do your ears hang low? Do they wiggle to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot?
And then as soon as I
think they'll
out
get
that
more
there was
attention
a way
with
that
it, but I don't think we actually
when
want
I was like, okay, this is absolutely like what I want to go through.
I don't think that's the plan. I think the plan is to get the attention. I mean, you'll find somebody to marry. Everybody can find somebody to marry eventually, but like he just wants the attention. A lot of people do it like these girls. These girls do it for the internet. Like they get boob jobs and face surgeries and whatnot so they look better on the internet because they're trying to be. This is the interesting thing about Instagram models. Back when I was a kid, when I was a young adult, models were like bra models, hand models, jewelry models. They're modeling a product. But when Instagram and OnlyFans came out, they became Instagram models. They were showing themselves as the product. They weren't saying, "Oh, look at this nice, look how this bracelet lays on my wrist. Look how this brassiere goes across my shoulders." And like that's what models were. Models model a type of a product. And then when Instagram models became a thing, the girls became the product. Aren't those surgeries terrible? You grafted? It's got to be freaking horrible, painful. I would imagine. Women are ignorant like that. If I were short, I would tell them to F off all the way. Half the money's taken care of by the clinic. You market the yeah, that's what I would say. That's what I would think. Yeah. I know a few short guys who take tall guys' girlfriend just because they have the charisma. No, absolutely. Yeah. Without a doubt, it definitely happens. You sure can, brother. What up, Hans? Did you see the film Young Washington? I have not seen it yet. I saw that it was doing very well, and I want to see it. Maybe somebody. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Live to Thrive. There's surgery to lengthen the dingling by 2 inches. I mean, I'd step on it. Females literally look profit for their appearance when they bring it up.
Inversion table, but that basically hangs.
Right. Well, that's shame. That's shame. Like, when you bring those things up, they'll get loud and arrogant because they want to make it like you're the problem. When you called them out, it hits deep. Else they'd be like, no, absolutely not. That happens all the time. So many tall, pretty guys, no personality, get their gym. To cut close-ups here. Yeah, I try my best. 3 inches still won't do it.
You upside down and decompresses your spine, and you can get a little bit of extra height after that. And I also did something called spinal alignment because my spine wasn't entirely straight, so I did that to get as much. I was just trying to get as much height as I possibly could. but this was the only permanent solution.
Oh, what makes me look at this whole
Wow.
leg
If I was a
lengthening
girl, I would
thing,
definitely sell pictures of my
just
butt
a
over
little bit
too.
more, with a little bit more
I know a
specs,
short
you know,
person's a
it starts
dwarf.
at the
Bad is
height
per personality.
has traditionally been viewed as one
Yeah,
of
it happens
those
all the
few
time.
physical
characteristics
that cannot.
No. Some women are the cause of feminism. Remember, women were against feminism. So some women looked at some men and decided there needed to be a change. And then when the women's suffrage movement came up, most women declined, said, no, we should not do this. It's going to destroy the family. But the loud women that decided to go to Congress were the ones that got to make the change. But when you actually look at it, what was actually happening was there was very powerful men controlling these women to make sure that these women could get positions of power that could be controlled by the men. Yeah, it all fell apart. And then the second, third, and fourth waves absolutely went too far. The problems with movements like that is they need an expiration date. They need to be like, okay, like the vote. Okay, women get the vote. Okay, then we dissolve. But they're like, oh, but what are we going to do now? I was making $200,000 a year getting donations. You know, and then so they're not. They want to find another problem, then another problem, then another problem. And that's where we're at now, where they're just kind of making stuff up. Remember that video I showed you the other day? Did your dad ever brush your hair? Yes, I remember. Yes. Can you live under a bridge, have a pretty girlfriend? Yeah, I see it too. Feminism started originally for the vote. Then second wave feminism, women wanted positions of power. And that's when it was taken over by the woman. The feds who were working with the woman that started Cosmopolitan magazine, they used that as a way to push insecurities out to women. And it's all documented. All this is documented. That they wanted to make women say that they feel ugly, feel like they stunk, that they needed perfumes and whatnot. And then they said, now you need this. They're like, okay, women are doing whatever you want them to do in this Cosmopolitan magazine. Now, if we can get women in positions of power, but we control those women, then that's how it moved through. You should cook and clean and read the. Meanwhile, Elon, get on that body replace program. Look, 4%. It was 4%. That's propaganda. 4% as the same now. It's actually more now. But the women that were having issues in the marriage was at 4% when that happened. It was unmarried women that were pushing that through, not married women. That's just the propaganda. And then when you tell women, look at the millionaire black women in the 1800s, they're like, what do you mean? Women couldn't work until the feminist movement allowed women to work. No, that's a lie. That's a lie. That was just told to people in order to make them angry, to make sure that political power get mad. Then they copy and pasted that with every other minority. They said, now this minority needs something and this minority needs something. Let's get them in positions of power. And then they were controlled. Let's get them in positions of power. Then they were controlled. It's copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. I have something else to be enlarged in my body. When I went down to Florida for work, I found the whole ritzy community where rich older women had boy toy models. Look at dudes that pull those women with no effort at all. Smash in the shower. Feminism was genius form of birth control. It's hard to raise a family when you're climbing the ladder. Yeah, that's what they wanted, and that's what they got. That's why you have, like, do you know AOC was part of a 10,000 person casting call to find a relatable Democrat female to put into power? And you know by listening to her that she doesn't typically know what she's talking about. And like, if she's ever pressed, like the reason she doesn't go on like centrist or right wing podcasts is because when she gets asked questions, she's like, well, I'm not an expert in that. We know her brother got her put into this list of 10,000 people to get selected. And this is a woman put into power that's being controlled by somebody else. It's because No. You don't have any idea. You don't have any idea. You don't have any idea what it was about. That's what you've been told. Listen, I highly recommend you actually look into it and look into it from both sides. Don't just look into it from the propaganda side. Go back and actually do the questions. Say, how many women were abused? How many women were against the feminist movement? How many women were against women getting the right to vote? There was more women in America that didn't want it. They didn't want the issue, especially because men had to go to war for the right to vote. Women didn't, and women didn't want to push through to that. You had a small group of women that were being provided funding. that then got them into positions of power after that, who were being controlled. And it's all documented, I promise you. I'm not just lying to you because I'm an anti-feminist. I'm not an anti-feminist. I like women. Women aren't good drivers. Better example, the Indy 500. The fact that women couldn't have debt as women could have their own money. That's completely false because women didn't have that since their husbands would be taking debt instead. Right. Wait. And there was women millionaires in the 1800s. It was used as propaganda, and everybody believed it because they just thought what the magazines were saying was true. Drop 27 Amendment back to the Bill of Rights. Man. Mansplain it to me. I'm only a woman. AOC is my favorite politician ever. I haven't heard a single thing out of that. It's hilarious. Charlie Kirk on feminism. Mary was clearly important to early Christians. Kirk said, have many more young ladies be pious, reverent, to full faith, slow to anger, slow words. And I think women have been used so freaking viciously by political movements, and they're the most medicated, and they respond with they're the most college educated. The problem is they're not the most employed after that, but they do make more money than men now. But they end up at the end of life unhappy about a lot of those decisions. I think people should just be allowed to do what they want to do. And politics needs to stay out of human relationships. We need Ilhan Omar and Michelle Obama and a team. Oh, it's probably going to happen. Mary's a phenomenal example, and I think counter to too much toxicity in the modern feminist era. Annoying. Female suffrage.
Be meaningfully changed, right? So we can't go and alter it like that. People can alter your hairstyle, you can improve your fitness, you can change your wardrobe, you can undergo various cosmetic procedure. But height has always considered permanent until today. The idea that somebody can potentially add several inches to their statue challenges I believe that many have held their entire lives. The reality of the procedure is far more demanding than most people.
I don't get the conspiracy of why men getting paid higher than women. If the conspiracy is true, then wouldn't companies hire men more? It would be less of a strain on the wages if they hired women. Right. And that's one of those things. If you look at the math, if you look at how they do the statistics, they do the statistics of all men and all women. And then women tend to make less money over the year or over the course of a set number of years of the study, like 4 years. But how many of those women took time off for pregnancies and whatnot? But then that's all been made up for and whatnot. You know, that's all been made up for. Now there's paid maternity leave and all that stuff like that. It's just used as rage bait. Nexus, I completely adore AOC. Restrict the votes to Americans with triple-digit IQs. I think that would be a good idea. Not a good time to be a white male. No, absolutely not. And people don't seem to care. People don't seem to care at all. They'll be like, but the freaking anybody else is. Cruise ships, oil tankers, ships driven by men. Feminism started because women were legally, financially, and socially treated as property of men. But they weren't. They were just, that was just what the people were bitching about. They weren't the property of men. They weren't. They could do whatever they want. Like I said, how was there millionaire women in the 1800s? Women have done. When you don't look at it through a feminist lens and you look at history, you'll see, why did all these women get sick at work in the 1860s or 1870s? Why were there thousands of women that got ill during this period or that period at work? They weren't considered that. It was doing with the credit system. The only people that could get credit were homeowners. The man was typically the homeowner because he was the one with the job. But the women, and they would say, women couldn't get credit cards. So nobody could get credit cards. You had store credit back then. So that was done with the family, the homeowner. So a woman could go and get as much stuff as she wanted on credit and didn't have to pay it back. The husband had to pay it back. But when the credit cards came out, they wanted to be able to give women credit cards. So they started all the propaganda to make women think that they were being oppressed. So then women will be like, I'll show you how enlightened I am and how empowered I am. I'm going to go spend a bunch of money that now I have to pay back. It was a scam. It was a scam. Women then went out to buy more stuff with their own money. So now you could give families twice as much credit. And then they could spend twice as much money that they didn't have. They were told that they weren't. Women were often the leaders of the household. Yeah, no, you act like women are weak. And that's what they say, like they're just going to be subjugated. You think it was feminism that made women start standing up to men? No, women have always been equals to their men. There was a couple of great there's a couple of great positions, issues or stories now where you see women killing their family or men killing their family and whatnot. Right, it happens, and it happened back then. They would take those few things and they would take them and they would popularize them and print them in the headlines to let everybody know how bad women were being treated. And then women that weren't being treated that way were like, oh my goodness, we need to save our sisterhood. And it was so you guys were able to spend more money that you didn't have. The credit agencies, Visa and MasterCard, Discover Card, Sears Card, they wanted to be able to give women their own credit cards. I often think Musk and AOC going at it in real life. An AI prompt. AI can still. Hold on 1 second. Men also make more money because of men going into the field of STEM. Do you think it's any different now? Women could always get divorces. Women always benefited from the divorce. The people that benefited from it after feminism was the state. Now the state could get a portion of the divorce. Yeah, it wasn't that women weren't slaves. Women were more likely to get married younger, not because they weren't free to do whatever they want. They were, even in the 20s, the 1920s, you had the girls of the night, you had the ladies that went out and partied and drank and this and that. They weren't controlled by their husbands. There was still women getting divorces and whatnot. It was just like when you have like individual things happen, like the Carmelo Anthony case. They take one case and they try to make a statement for racism out of one case. This is the same thing that happened back with feminism. Women were generally happier before having to handle their own bills because their husbands would take care of it, or their fathers before that. And that women consider that's their property, but they weren't selling their daughters. Maybe in some countries, but not in America. The USA is going to become Latino country. Just support the Latinos. Hey, it's a feminist weak guy. Okay, guy. Men have never been misogynist or violent, controlling to women. In bulk, no. In bulk, no. You can always find small subsets and put them on the headlines. But no, not absolutely not. You can look up the numbers. It's never been like over 4%. And I think it's more than that now. Not Richard Point. The only difference back then was men had the burden of all the depth of the house. They did not have to protect the women. They did that to protect the women, never having any to pay for it. Right. And women were told that to convince them. It was a marketing move. It was propaganda so women could start spending more money. They wanted women to be able to get accounts, and that's the game they played to get it to you. It's the same thing that they use racially today in order to get more things done so more people get more rights, but the rights are to be able to spend more money that they don't have. That's what ends up being moved. A report from Morgan Stanley projects 45% of prime working age women 25 to 44 will be single and childless by 2030, increased from 41% in 2018. Women need men. Families are important. Men need women. Women need men. Absolutely. There's absolutely misogynistic men. There's absolutely men hating women. There always has been. But it's when the media was able to point at a few cases and then put them in the headlines and over sensationalize it that they could use that politically. Yeah, it wasn't like women were getting. What would be different? If you think men just said, okay, women have your rights, if men could just take it back if that was the case, no, it's not the way that it works. Social media and female podcasters paint the worst pictures of men as terrible. Some people want facts, but don't know the reason why. Why would women protect themselves if men were gone? Answer: to protect them from who? From other women. Women kill other women a lot. Absolutely. No, I don't want to hear that. That's crap. Men protect women. When women get in trouble with other women, they call men too. No. You can't put everybody in one bubble like that. Yeah, other women. Women are choosing to live with cats over men. That's how great you guys are doing. No, some women are. But the women that aren't. right? It's not like it's 100% of the women are going to be alone. 40 to 45%. That means 55% aren't. They're living the lives that they want to live. But you can't say it's because of men, because then you would have to say that men could take it back. Men could take it back and say, we're not going to do this for you anymore. And then women could do it. I don't know. It wasn't a vast majority of men. And it still isn't. You could point to the ass, and they're doing the same thing now with billionaires. They're saying, look at this bad billionaire, so we got to take money from every billionaire. It's the same way. They do the same thing. They take something out the media, they over-essentialize it, and they say, hey, if we did something politically, everybody's life would be better. Now, if we could tax women by giving them their own credit cards, everybody's lives would be better. If we can tax billionaires, then everybody's lives could be better. It's the same copy and paste. Women and children precious. Look at the deaths of the Titanic. The vast majority. No, that didn't happen, dude. That didn't happen. When I pick a cat, it's much easier to live with a human. Women and children first. When the Alamo fell, women and children were released. The men were all executing. Women chose terrible men for their looks, blamed them, blamed society for it. French elite, women resistance. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it was sad. Women have more freedom now that they have more in history yet. They're more depressed on drugs than any other time. Women don't know what they want. Well, some do. Half do and half don't, right? So some women want to have kids and want to have families, and they'll go have them, right? Absolutely. And then some women won't, and they can go do that. Now, is that because of feminism? I mean, and if you think that all of those other women are horribly, are being horribly treated by their husbands, that's a horrible way to think and live. Because a lot of people don't just talk to their friends. Because a lot of single women don't typically talk to married women, and married women don't typically talk to single women. There's some that do, but then they often end up as single women, because the single women will convince the married women of how oppressed they are just from being married. He makes you do the dishes. You should dump him. Take half his money. The freedom and liberty on this line. Men, not women, are the ones who lose the most. Women suffer, men get killed. That's true. Unfortunately, women have been brainwashed into thinking that only the broken free from patriarchy. The truth is they have never been more convinced of their inferiority. Every time I've dated a Latina, drama. Women in record numbers are choosing single. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The thing is, can you tell if that's their choice? Can you tell if that's their choice? How many of them can you say at least 1% of those women just can't get the man that they want, so they decided to stay single? And if the man that they wanted would have said yes, those women would not be single. So you can't tell what it is. What they're going to say on the internet is different than what they're thinking and feeling. Humans are complex. You can't break them down like that. Women are choosing. They're unhappy. The word is getting married. Children brings life. Women in record numbers are forced to choosing to be single. And you can see it a lot of times when women say, I'm choosing to be single. But then you go back through their social medias and you see them, but me and Danny had a situationship, but he doesn't want anything. But I've tried this, I've tried that. And you see it go through, and then you see how it ends up. A lot of them didn't want to be single, but you can go back through. But if you just listen to what their last message was, and then if they leave the internet, they may have found a man and got married. We got no idea. But I wouldn't want to die alone. I wouldn't want to live in a house all by myself and die alone. I see the way my parents have been married over 50 years. They help each other throughout life, and that's great and beautiful. I want that eventually, But I mean, I'm on a mission to be able to get to a place where I can support my wife and children, so my wife doesn't have to work. Not really. While it's true, being mean could be meaning. Men can go without a few years. Women cry themselves to sleep on holidays. I love feminism. The whiny women are staying single, leave the men happier. Lesbians do have the highest divorce rate. That's true. 75%. I raised my daughter alone. I don't want anything to do with women. No thanks. Georgie loves women. I love women. Women are brainwashed and influenced by social media to obtain a man that's not accessible to them. And I think that happens a lot. And I think it happens to men too. But I think that women are more susceptible to what other women say. Caleb, and the thing is, now with divorce protections, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it's not like you're going to be stuck in an abusive relationship. If the relationship gets abusive, you just leave with half of the money and house and everything else. Caleb Hammer versus the blue-haired leopard. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah. Women and mothers, us children. Yeah, right. We need to have kids. Women and men need to be together. They work best. Men work best with women. Women work best with men. That propaganda that's driven people apart and giving them a reason to be single is not good for society. Adam, but it's also like when people didn't have so many people to choose from, more relationships happen. But why did it all of a sudden become a thing where it's, if you can't get a guy that's 6 foot tall, I don't even want to get married, or I don't even want to date, I don't want to do anything. What, I mean, what if he's freaking kick-ass and awesome and makes your life easier? Well, it's not worth it, because my friend said it's not worth it, and freaking Cosmo said it's not worth it. The stronger feminism is in the country, the higher the divorce rate. That's true. I have a tip. Just don't give a shit. That's a good tip. It's more subjective opinion. Some say it's not. It's bringing life into your subjective. Bring my own meaning. True. I know a lot of women who stay single out of pickiness stage. Yeah. Yes. And listen, a lot of times there's debt involved. A lot of times, I've talked to a lot of men. I've talked to a lot of women. A lot of men will not date women with a lot of college debt. And a lot of women that decide to stay single do have a lot of college debt. And whether or not, I mean, it's definitely a consideration and a point. You know, but when women decide when they're very young that they want to be single their whole lives and take on $100,000 in student loan debt and whatnot, and then if they change their minds later, it could be much more difficult to find somebody, because most people want to marry to reproduce. They want to have a family, and they want to be able to leave money to their kids and start something generational. If you're not in a position where you can have that because there's too much debt, if the man's got a couple tens of thousands of dollars in student loan debt, the woman's got tens of thousands of dollars in student loan debt, it puts you in a deficiency till it's late. 15-1 in the African American community. It's a nut job. Money is money. Things create a life, son or daughter, so much more. I agree. Speaking Spanish in a few years. Thank you, Hippocrates. Bam. Thank you, brother. Thank you, my brother. Good thing our parents had us. We wouldn't be on YouTube talking for. That's right. 98 loves women. Can I just say that's the best YouTube channel I've ever watched? Keep killing it. Thank you, Nexus, brother. Thank you, Hippocrates. Bam. Raised daughter alone, then obviously wanted something to do with women. Oh, I am. I have to agree on creating legacy is the only person here. And I think that's what's happened. The narrative came to be free love and free sex and yada, yada, yada. And people think relationships are for banging. And not for long term. Like, people think of the next 10 minutes, not the next 10 years. Bam, Hippocrates. Right, that's disagree. I've seen men and women who've said marrying and having children doesn't bring them anything like meaning to. Yeah, sure. And there's also psychopaths and that can't feel empathy and can't feel things like that. So you're definitely going to find some. But in general, obviously you've never been in an abusive relationship. No, I'm lucky that I haven't. Adam, maybe narcissist, right? Yeah, it might be narcissist. That's true. There's some percentage of men and women who hate their children, but that's not. Yeah. Women can't be drafted. Family court advantages. How far? Jeez, I'm way far behind. Okay, 99% of fathers and mothers would die for their children. Right, that's why the government doesn't want you having children. Because they want you to fight and die for their causes. That's why more conservatives are more patriotic. They've got more kids. So conservatives would die for their kids. You have a lot of people, liberals, that have no children. And they want to, instead of fighting for their families, they're fighting for their government, which is why we get to where we're at now. Narcissists would have such a thing to say. They're very manipulative. Yep, ban social media, return to dating roots. I think that'll happen too. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we'll back to it in a second. College debt, mortgage, credit cards. I haven't found the assumption. The problem is younger people. If I find about your kids' surveys for parents and meaning in life, research indicates 5 to 14% of parents experience regret over becoming parents. There you go. What up, crying fish, brother? Yep, possibly finance driven. Yep.
Initially, imagine.
Sorry,
the process involves surgically separating the bone and gradually encouraging new bone growth over time, right?
Encouraging the bone growth
is lengthy, as I would imagine, and often requires months of dedication.
Okay, so it's been a week since my limb lengthening surgery, and there's just something I don't understand is how people could do both legs at the same time.
She's only doing one leg at a time? What if she does? What if it hurts too bad and she doesn't want to do the other leg? She's got to have one leg longer than another leg. Hit the like button. Let's keep going. Help a brother out. If you haven't subscribed, hit me up.
Mentally, physically, such a roller coaster. Oh my God, it's a lot. It's really a lot. And with kids, I think that just makes it so much harder.
People actually want to have kids.
It's not a day or a week or 2 weeks recovery. This is more than 4 months. I'm lengthening my leg.
Finance strive, parent support.
For 50 days. I have to wait a week. So I already started lengthening. And now I have 50 days. And then after that, it's another 4 to 5, maybe 6 weeks, depending on how my bone grows. I'm very healthy, thank God. So hopefully it'll be less time.
Autocorrect will get you.
But it's insane. The pain in the hip, the no sharp movements, because you could, God forbid, twist something and like it's so painful. And a lot of it is in the hip, I've noticed.
Hop along.
Thank God I'm flexible, so I'm trying very hard to get that mobility back, the flexibility back, and every day I'm getting a little bit more and more, but it's a big deal.
Yeah, like breaking your freaking leg and stretching it.
Yeah, sure, you could do it. You can. I'm gonna get through it, but oh my God. I needed to do it because I had a discrepancy of 38 millimeters. Right? Yeah, 38 millimeters. That's about an inch, and that's about 1.5 inches, which is a lot. It's a big deal.
Team Georgie. Right.
And the pain in my...
It's like getting one boob done. How will you cope when chat's going crazy fast? 20,000 people. I got no idea. I'm gonna have to figure that out, Jim, brother. Get yourself a long stick your peg leg. Peg leg. That's what I would do if I chimped out. How much people cares about your height? Why do people care about their height so much? Isn't it genetics? Genetics can something you can't change. Listen, people care about skin color. People care about height. People care about weight. People care about what's called immutable characteristics, things that you can't change. When people want to hate other people, they pick things that people can't change so that they can hate them better. I tried everything with Angela to stay off meth to sort our relationship. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, don't stay with people that are on meth. Don't talk to people that are on meth. You'll be there soon, brother. I'm practicing. Thank you, Jim. The primary reasons parents get regret is because 6 training female parents are burned out and tossed to 5 to 14% of group professional financial burden is a massive driving force. Specific survey 7%. Finance is top reason.
Back was getting very bad. I couldn't do yoga properly. I couldn't do a lot of things. Like I love weightlifting.
And it's odd to see women getting leg lengthening surgeries. I don't just hate people. I just hate people how dumb they are. Can't fix stupid.
I couldn't do so many movements. You also want to do like the regular stuff that is also part of a routine. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm so grateful for the help that I have. I really am. I don't know what I would do without my mother. She has been on it with the kids nonstop, more than I have been as a mother.
And she's got kids.
It really makes me feel like, whoa, okay, I could do more.
So, I guess she doesn't have a husband?
I guess that's what grandmothers are for.
But where do you get the money?
But
financial strain causes a lot of stress, including divorce.
And I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Today I took my daughter.
In addition to the physical challenges that they need.
Today I took my daughter on safari to the ghetto. I told her to keep her arms and legs in the vehicle at all times. It was magical. Anyways, why do you care? Why do women care about height? It's usually the men. It could be dysphoria. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that's odd for me to see. And I know some people are born with one leg longer than the other, so I could understand getting the one leg lengthened like that. But she's saying she's doing it to get taller, so she's going to go through all this pain to get one leg done, and then so if that takes 6 months to heal or whatever, then she's going to go through it. So why not just do both at the same time and cut the healing time in half? That's just crazy. Best what's 24, 14, 3.5, 3.5. Regret having kids for non-financial reasons. Exaggerating. That's probably, she thinks if she's taller, she'll look better to get herself a stepdaddy. After surgery, don't be able to notice to reach top cabinet. Wonder why you keep hitting your head on the doorway. Not gonna lie, I wouldn't be happy if my daughter needed me to look after because of her length and leg. Yeah, it's very self-centered. It's very selfish. Absolutely.
Phase, the procedure can be extremely expensive as well, making this inaccessible to many people.
Can you imagine being like, I gotta get one leg done at a time because of the money? Like, you go to work, you get the 80 grand for a leg, and then you gotta go to work with a peg leg to get the other 80 grand to get the other leg done? Jeez. I did a study of children in a classroom. They all have blue eyes except for a few. The blue-eyed kids naturally shun the brown-eyed children. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. It always happens. Hierarchies happen. When governments and businesses try to take something out of nature and then sell it back to you, like sex, like they take it out, they say, oh, what was natural now isn't natural anymore. Here's what we're selling back to you. This is sexuality repackaged. They do it with food. I guess the person would be shunned. If your mental health is good, Anthony, there isn't a problem. Some people have mental. Yeah, that's true. What up, Super Obama? Can't just get one leg on. She's getting one done and then the other one done. But she's doing it to get taller. So she said, I can't believe people do two at a time. She's doing one, then the other one. Keep my height, give me a new Corvette. Right. That wasn't natural. Teachers created false distinction. Yeah, I agree. That's what I mean. They take something out of nature. They take it out. They say, oh, that's not natural. This is what we're going to consider natural. Like if you have any other kids, like everyone else.
Despite the obstacles, interest in leg lengthening surgeries continue to grow. One reason may be, of course, the increasing influence of social media as well as the online culture. Height has become a frequent topic of discussion now across countless platforms, particularly conversations
I agree.
where it includes dating
how much
and
the
what people
military
may deem as attractiveness or even confidence or even masculinity. So in some online spaces, height is discussed so often that it can begin to feel that is far more important than it actually is. At the same time, guys, confidence is rarely as simple as changing a physical feature. Some people report feeling happier and even more self-reassured after cosmetic procedures, while others discovered that their insecurities remain even after achieving those results that they wanted.
People 7 foot tall, shorter than life
can sometimes improve your self-esteem. They do not, however, always address that deeper emotional factor that may contribute to how people may see themselves. They raise larger questions about self-image and societal expectation and the influence of this whole beauty standard, right? This whole leg lengthening surgery stands out as one of the most dramatic examples of how some individuals, how far they're willing to go in pursuit of that desired appearance. The guy
this is Jody the Island Girl.
Just to add to this whole leg lengthening surgery, it's also the calf surgery as well. I didn't do too much research into that, but while I was putting this video together, I came across a little bit of that. That is also a thing where there can...
So people that don't want to work out get calf implants. Jamaica. Not they wanted to. She kind of, she fine. She fine.
Literally insert. It's like a silicone textured
material. It's a breast implant.
It looks almost like the breast implant.
Yes, the back of your leg.
Literally insert that into your calf to make you have more fuller calves. I would know that sometimes men usually crave this, but I realized that doing my research, women are also getting these calf lift or calf surgery implants. Then, Lord, oh Lord.
By the time it's pregnant Thursday. Yes.
Yes, you guessed it right. It's for your calf, not the other stuff. It's mostly used for cosmetic purposes only. Let's say you want to bulk
everything's
your calf.
fake.
You may want to
leg
do more
lengthening's
calf
employed by
workouts,
big trouser industry.
No judge here.
If this whole leg lengthening thing
yeah, that's
extreme,
rough, dude.
The next procedure
that
takes us into
bubble
a
boy
complete
stuff.
category of body modification. One of that has been surrounded by celebrity rumors, internet speculation, and of course debates about the beauty standard for years. So of course, let us talk about the rib removal.
I'm the girl that got all her ribs removed, and today I'm going to show you guys without the corset months post-op. When I do remove the corset, it is a little bit painful. Is it without the corset and no garments. I feel so much happier.
Oh my God, I can't stop staring at myself. 2 months ago, I had 10 of my ribs surgically fractured and sculpted inward in order to achieve a smaller waist. And y'all keep telling me that my results are too unnatural, doesn't look good. Oh, I miss when you had a natural body. First of all, I had a BBL before all of this. So technically it was never natural, babe. But also, I'm wearing a waist trainer.
Listen, fellas,
23 and a half hours
little dudes
a day.
fitting
So
for
now that
right.
it's been 2 months, I'm going to show y'all what my body looks like.
Yeah, the
outside of
demand's
the waist
probably
trainer.
out.
So far.
Sorry,
And hopefully
Jim,
this will
brother.
give y'all a better
The
idea
future
of what
will
my
be poor to will be
results
short. Let's
actually
synthol
look
guy
like. So I'm gonna
YouTube.
take this off and show y'all my new rib cage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uncutting your ribs, yeah, and it exposes like the bottoms of your lungs. If somebody gives you a bear hug and collapse your lung, or squeeze other things, that's fake. They don't let keep your bones. That's fake. They don't let you keep your bones. I got wisdom teeth taken out, and they said I couldn't keep because it was medical waste. Yeah, I had the same thing. I had a tooth pulled, and they wouldn't let me take it too. So much effort to get taller instead of what they put in energy. That's the thing. You don't know. You don't know whether that shit's real or not. It could absolutely be. If you wouldn't see what I look like, check my OnlyFans. You know, it's all. A lot of it could be crap.
Are y'all ready for the grand reveal? Keep in mind, it's only been 2 months. I still have some swelling, but this is what we're looking like for the most part. Yup. This is what she looks like from the side and from the other side and from the back. I feel like a Victoria's Secret supermodel. Hold on. Mania. I don't care if y'all think it looks too unnatural. This is exactly what I envisioned for myself.
Mario got
as a
himself
trans
taller by
woman.
eating
And at the
mushrooms.
end
He's
of the
eating more
day,
mushrooms.
My opinion on my body is the only one that matters, baby.
Got a wisdom
And
tooth extract a couple years ago. And
personally,
Dennis
I
has
think
one.
I look.
So if you didn't, if the teeth are infected, you can't keep them. So if you got them extracted as a regular extraction, you might have been allowed. My buddy Drew Pumphrey, he had like gigantism. He had horse teeth. Like his teeth, like his mom had his wisdom teeth that were removed at like 13 years old, and they were huge. She had them in a baby jar, and 4 of them fit in a baby jar, just like barely, baby food jar. It's not easy to make one. Everyone else is short. You know, taller is going to be easier. Yeah, they have to go in, cut your bones, bring them together, pin them, bring them together, and then remove the skin too. They let me keep my wisdom tooth as well. She spoke herself about the third party. Did you catch that? She's crazy. No lie. Her ass is insane. That's the psyop. Greeks did. Small people side of wisdom side. It's not infected. It's okay to keep. Yeah, it's the infection that's the problem. Yeah, mine was definitely infected. Definitely infected. I was in extraordinary pain. Me too. Yes, me too. It was New Year's Day. New Year's Day, I woke up with freaking ringing in my whole freaking face. And I had to go, and this place called Angel's Dentistry. This was like the first time I ever thought of God being a thing. I was like, the only place that's open in the entire of Maryland is this place 40 minutes away called Angel's that's open on New Year's Day for an extraction. I had to pay $350 cash. All this Victoria's Secret is surgery removing her skeleton. Yeah, she's crazy.
Good. Thank you, Dr. Chaudhry in Beverly Hills. Rib sculpt is next level, baby. It is so fierce. I started out with a 32-inch waist, and last time I measured, I was at like 27. I finally have my dream body, and I'm so happy. And that's all that matters. One more month of waist training, and then I will be free to walk.
For a week. It's guaranteed she's going to be back getting something else done. Yeah, share. Yep. Archaeologists will dig her up to it. Right. And be like, this is evolution. See what evolution did? It removed the ribs.
Around like this every day. So yeah, that's my 2-month update. Thanks for watching.
Have you guys noticed that in celebrities these days, we're seeing these impossibly small waistlines? This is the same person, obviously not my patient, nothing got to do with me, so I'm only speculating here.
4 years old in the face.
But it makes me wonder if a new procedure...
Right, in 4 years, right. What is she going to do? Then she's going to start snatching her face back. She's going to start getting facelifts and whatnot. It's never going to end. Any extra money the online-only girls get will all be spent on their appearance. Absolutely. None of them will end up with money. Right. I wonder what happens with these BBLs in old age. Going to have some weird looking pensioners 50 years old. Yes, right. And it's going to be, do you ever see when they break and they sag really bad? Like when it like slips in, it looks like a slipped breast. You ever seen a boob job that slides down? It, like you can see, and well, it happens with BBLs where the fat dislodges and moves, and then they got like and that's what's gonna happen when they get old. Because you don't have the vasculature, you don't have the veins and everything going through that fat, that new fat, to hold it in place and keep it shaped. Filled with tattoos and stuff. Yeah. Our elderly are gonna look wackadoodle.
Rib remodeling is actually at play here. This is a really exciting new procedure, especially for trans feminine folks, because these sorts of results you just cannot achieve with liposuction. With rib remodeling, we use a minimally invasive technique
like how a lot of rappers are broke now, except for Vanilla Ice.
Fracture the lower ribs, and we remodel them with a corset.
Imagine having a slip fall at 80 years old. You got no ribs. Done. Done. Your spleen is going to go. Your lungs are going to go. Yeah, you don't have. These are to protect your internal organs. You get into a fight and somebody gives you a freaking quick jab to the freaking gut and you got a freaking ruptured spleen. I'm eating right now. Change the channel. Sorry, brother. The intentions are deceiving. Does not look good. And it's a fad. It's a fad. So when snatched waists and like BBLs are already gone. They're not even a freaking like a beauty standard anymore. That's already been moved past. And you think snatched waists are gonna stay? No. Now that hip hop is out of the top 40, this whole wackadoo look is going to go away, and you're gonna have your ribs out of your body. And then there's gonna be somebody for 80 grand that'll give you synthetic ribs. Watch, guaranteed.
Average waist reduction in these patients is about 3 or 4 inches. It can be done alone or it can be done with liposuction. Downtime is pretty minimal from it, and I really think it's going to be a game changer for trans feminine patients.
So Islanders, for many years, rib removal occupied a strange place in public conversation. It was a kind of procedure where people heard through rumors, celebrities, and of course speculation or even
I think it'll be less than that.
Yet,
I think it'll be way less than that. I think when a lot of fraud gets out of medical care, you'll see a lot less of this available money.
We're unsure whether this was something that could actually happen in real life, right? So stories would periodically circulate online claiming that celebrities or certain influencers had undergone this surgery to achieve an exceptionally small waist. And each time those claims resurfaced, they attracted enormous amounts of attention. A part of that fascination comes from how different the procedure sounds compared to more familiar cosmetic treatments, right? So most people have at least a basic understanding of surgeries such as a rhinoplasty, I call a nose job, breast augmentation, liposuction, but rib removal, however, immediately feels extreme because it involves altering a parts of the body's skeleton rather than just simply reshaping a soft tissue. Whether or not
absolutely 100%. They do it for themselves and their surrounding friends that say, girl, it would be so hot. You look so good. Where are Eve's right? That's what happens. They're gonna plant ribs and grow Steves.
That someone would even consider such a procedure, the concept alone tends to provoke a strong reaction.
Pain with rib remodeling. All right, so that is the #1 question that I get asked about this procedure is about pain. So guys, I'm gonna tell you guys more about the pain. I'll give you my experience as well. So let me start off with saying that this procedure would not have been hard. It would not have been painful at all if I did not hurt myself on day 4 getting into bed. So getting into bed, I twisted it a certain way and I felt like a pop. And
robots,
it was extremely painful. I kind of slowly backed up off my bed, got on the couch, and the next day I got stuck on my couch. Like I couldn't get back up. I was crying. It was bad, and it was hard to cry because I couldn't really breathe. And
she said it wouldn't have been bad if I didn't hurt myself getting into bed. So how do you not get into bed? Oh, I bumped myself. Well, what do you expect to not do? Like not, I think. What up, the person?
A full diaphragmatic expansion. So that was hard. So guys, if you don't do that, if you don't hurt yourself, this should be fine. Okay. The whole reason why I'm showing my journey is so that you guys can learn from it, and see the experience and what the things to do, the things not to.
What she's doing is her doctor is giving her 10 to 15% of every patient that says, "Oh, Jenny on the internet sent me. Could I have a rib cage? So much internal pain, they want to fix it with external pain." Yep. I was wondering. This is breaking your legs to get taller and the most bizarre cosmetic surgeries of 2026. If you don't hurt yourself from breathing, you'll be fine. If you don't fart, if I didn't have to poop that one time, I'd have been fine. And just don't poop, guys. The videos creep me out. Can't imagine doing this to yourself. Brother, listen.
To do, and also I've heard of girls like sneezing with this, not having their waist trainer on.
How dare they?
And when you don't have a structure, a stabilizer around those ribs, and you expand and you sneeze, or you got a cough or a cry, or you throw up or something like that, where your ribs will expand, guys, that will be very painful.
It's a beautiful
title. So like I said, like I didn't have a lot of pain until I hurt myself. I was out. I was like really chill for 2 whole days. I was like kind of like taking it easy, and then by the time I got to the 7th day, I was able to drive myself to my follow-up appointment with the doctor, and I was fine. And everything from that point continued to get better and better and better. There are things that I did along the way to help me, like I got IVs, I got a gal shot, I got things that would help me with my muscle recovery and my bone recovery. And guys, I was so good. Like I feel like this procedure you hear about breaking or fracturing a rib is like, holy shit, that's like a car accident, right? Like it sounds like it's going to be painful, right? But I guess since it's a controlled fracture, as soon as they fracture your bone, they stabilize it with the waist trainer, with the wrap, with the foam.
Unbelievable.
So it's so controlled. So guys, just
trying to be pregnant with
if you get it done, if you're thinking about getting done, plan for it. Make sure you have
no
somebody
sneezing,
there for
laughing,
the first week.
No sneezing, laughing, sleeping, or crying. I'm gonna stay single as long as I don't see Angela walking her dogs need my help. Sure. Yeah. Gal. I don't know what that is. I feel like my brain cells are depleted every second I watch this. sorry, person. Usually we do a little more educational content. I wanted to do something funny tonight.
I've showed tips and tricks and stuff like that, guys, of like getting a left recliner. It's kind of similar to when you get a muscle repair. Like you want to treat it like that. You want to baby this area and not twist. You want to be squatting instead of bending over.
Don't twist.
Instead of twisting. It's not going to be that painful as it sounds, guys. Like, believe it or not.
Just pay the money.
Unless something goes wrong and you hurt yourself.
Like you cry or
sneeze. It's
sneeze.
not a very hard procedure. So once again, like coughing, sneezing, crying, laughing too much.
Laughing.
Anything that's expanding.
No
the ribs,
emotion.
that will hurt you. Every time I had a sneeze, I'll tell you guys this little tip. I didn't sneeze for a whole month, okay? So I took the bridge of my nose, and I kind of just, if I felt like I was going to sneeze, I'd hold it in, and I would just wiggle my nose, and it would stop the sneeze from coming out. I sneezed at a month, I remember. I was back at work, and there was a month it had passed.
God forbid she gets diarrhea. Done.
And it hurt. It hurt. Like, it did not feel good, okay? So even at a month, it was still kind of painful if you sneeze. Once I got to about 6 weeks out, I felt about 80% better. That was like a major turning point, because even at the 4th week, getting in and out of bed was still kind of hard. It was like rough. Easy when I got out of bed.
This is a saleswoman. She's telling you, oh, it'd be so easy. It's not even a problem at all. And it wasn't fine. I was 2 days, no problem. It was so easy. It was a controlled break, and they stabilized it right away. It was no problem. But then I sneezed, and it hurt, and I hit my bed, and it hurt, and then I bent over, and it hurt, and it was bad. And then 6 weeks later, it still hurt.
And I was walking around, no pain, no nothing, guys, no discomfort. I could still breathe. Like, I hear sometimes people want to say that this restricts your breathing. Like, if you don't know how to do diaphragmatic breathing, and you're doing all breaths up at the chest, that might restrict it. But learn how to do diaphragmatic breathing. I'm not going to teach you that right now.
I'm 4 weeks post-op rib remodeling. Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
pain is so much more manageable. It's enjoyable to giggle a little bit. I can cough lightly if I need to. I'm still absolutely terrified of sneezing. So a lot of the things that were bringing me pain, crawling across my bed, I could not do at all. And my boyfriend slept on the couch for basically a whole month. Bless his heart. In his 4th week, my scars have improved a lot. I can really just crank my corset and it's not as debilitating as it was in the earlier weeks. I'd say those are all the main things.
Controlled break.
And besides that, I'm feeling
right,
really good.
right.
I'm going to be getting off of my nerve medication.
When you can see your rib poking through your stomach, that fleshy, what do you call those wounds? Sucking wounds.
I think I have 2 pills left, and I've been taking them every other day to wean myself off rather than a blunt stop. So,
and then she ends up at full-blown freaking morphine addict.
I'll keep you guys updated on how that goes.
3 months later, she's gonna be like, everything went fine. Everything's good. What? Achoo! Oh!
And besides that, I'm fine.
Ironically, if it had diaphragmatic breathing every time they had an idea, this is good children.
If you are
Right. Why didn't you do that before you decided to get all anxious? This is hilarious. Sounds like Drewski parody. Da, 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 da. I had a friend in high school who stripped Chippendales Hollywood who had his thing lengthened, and the women told him he loved it. He wanted to touch it. Well.
In your early weeks, I'd say just hold on until you get to that month. And then once you get to that month, I feel like it's just going to be all up from here.
Thinking about it, guys,
down from
this
here.
Discussion also reflects a much broader cultural obsession with a small waist and just body proportions overall. Beauty standards have changed repeatedly throughout history, as I always say. At different times, society has celebrated fuller figures, ultra slim silhouettes, athletic physique, or
listen. I don't like BBLs. I do not like them. When they go to like that super extreme, it triggers my like aversion. Like it triggers like you know when you smell puke or like dog shit, like when you hear somebody puke, like it triggers that in me. It's just like because like I know what's in there. It's a big bunch of fat that they sucked out of her back and stomach and belly, and it's rotting in there. And they got the weep holes underneath the butt cheek like line that's like sweating out stink, and you can't wipe your butt, and they don't know what a bidet is. I think the morphine is helping said 30 years in, right?
Curve your body
30
type.
years in.
Yet,
all these people realize it's traumatic injury. No, because they see the girlies do it on the internet. She's fine. I just saw her. She just posted like a 37-second TikTok. Said it was great. And her boyfriend is still on the couch, but yeah, bizarre. Yeah, they do stink. They stink bad. They stink really bad. And then the seat that they sit in stinks when they get up because their drains from underneath their butts. They can't clean that. You can't reach it. It's not attractive. I like big butts. I like a nice big butt. I like small butts too. I like butts connected to kick-ass chicks. Like, I'm not gonna not date a girl because her butt's small. You know, but what draws my eye and makes you say, hey, that's free. You know, like they're like a decent sized butt, but that what we just saw here, this here,
are through
like this here. Look at this.
As I always say, at different.
Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Like that is unbelievable. Look at the size difference. Look at the size difference here. Look at that. Look how like it's at like all the fat out of her back and belly and her arms went into her butt and thighs. That's unbelievably whack-a-do. Whack-a-do. Yeah, it smells like rot because the areas, they have to purify the fat. They suck the fat out of you. And sometimes they use cadaver fat. So it doesn't get a blood flow. They inject stem cells into it to help it establish a new blood supply, but not all of it gets a blood supply. So the stuff that does it rots, and you have these tubes that come out underneath your butt cheek flaps, like where the back of your butt cheek meets your thigh, the back of your thigh, and there's drains there that have to stay in for a couple of weeks. And then, like, if you don't keep them clean and they get infected, the BBLs are out of proportion. Right. Yeah. It's absolutely wackadoo. She had a ton of them. Yes. I can't. Yeah, I'm done. This is crazy cosmetic surgeries, macho. This chick had obviously a BBL and I think she had a BBL and a rib removal. I don't think I've ever heard of a guy or girl break rib. Yeah, it's probably not a rib. Probably not a deal breaker. Buy 2 seats and play and buy. Yeah, the latex. Yeah. Dead ass.
Silhouettes, athletic physique, or even curvier body types. Yet, despite these shifts, the desire for a more narrow waist has remained remarkably consistent across generations.
She ain't sitting on my lap.
Social media has intensified that focus in many ways than previous generation never expected. People are constantly exposed to carefully curated images that may involve a strategic posing or just professional lighting or just even digital editing, fillers, and even shape wears or other techniques designed to create the appearance of the ideal proportions. And as a result, certain body shapes can
head removal surgery. We'll check it after this, Jim.
And attainable than
she
they
definitely
actually
did.
Are.
Congratulations, AJ. It's not the same girl.
Is how dangerous is rib remodeling when it comes to torso feminization? So let me tell you, this procedure has come a long way. When I was in medical school, there were
see the crazy eyes. See how you can see the entire iris of hers. You can see her entire iris, and she's talking about freaking wackadoo. I'm sure there's absolutely something to do.
Few descriptions of removing ribs, and yeah, sure, that does seem pretty extreme. But now, thanks to Dr. Manzaneda in Peru, he's invented what's called a rib scar technique, which means there is no scar. We're not removing the rib, we're just remodeling it, and a lot of the work is done after the surgery.
She's on
the patient wears a corset. For 3 months, all we're doing during the surgery, which is
whatever
super
the case may be.
clever, is just making those ribs more mobile. So what ribs am I talking about? First of all, it's important to understand that we're usually only talking about ribs 10, 11, and 12. So they're pretty low and away from your lungs and where you breathe, and all that function is going on. So
it's creepy.
therefore,
Their eyes could be
there's
like,
good evidence that it doesn't really interfere with your breathing. Other studies have looked at the rates of complications after this study, and the most common complication is about 9% of folks may have some pain after the surgery, which gets better. So that's pretty awesome, because as I always tell my patients, no pain, no gain. With surgery, there is going to be some pain.
Take my head off, put it on some dead rip guy, white head on some big black bodybuilder's body.
The answer is, I would say, rib remodeling surgery is, as surgeries go, not dangerous. There's been no deaths described from it.
Gender surgeon.
If we look at probably the most dangerous procedure in plastic surgery at the moment is a BBL, or a Brazilian butt lift, because it's possible to get some of that fat into the bloodstream, and in some studies up to 1 in 3,000 people who get that surgery die. So I will tell you, as surgeries go, rib remodeling seems to be extremely safe.
What makes this trend particularly interesting is how beauty expectations continue to evolve. So in the past islanders, many people focus primarily on losing weight or just improving overall fitness, right? So over time, the conversation shifted towards sculpting specific features and just achieving highly customized proportions. The goal is not to look healthier or even more attractive, but to fit that very precise aesthetic ideal. What is considered a routine procedure enhancement today might have seemed shocking a few decades ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. As you know, the medical technology advances and new procedures become available, public perception also changes with that, which brings us to the next procedure that many people find difficult to believe that exists, because while changing your waistline is one thing, changing your eye color is an entirely different conversation.
People continue to advise
evergreen. What are your friends and family?
This is so dumb. Yeah, I'm still thinking about a girl with a one tall leg. Yeah, how's she gonna turn out? For some reason, I like her. Yeah, I like her Jamaican accent too. Yes. 1 in 3,000 die on the table from a BBL. It's the most fatal body modification. The most fatal body modification is BBL. Yeah, 1 in 10,000 deaths for pregnant. Yeah. But think about it. You're already fat. They're sucking the fat out of your body. Have you ever seen it done? Like, have you ever seen liposuction done? So they're scraping the inside of your body. If they nick an artery or a vein and you get any bit of fat in there, or when they're injecting it back into your butt with the freaking wand, and if they hit it into, you get a fat embolism. It goes to your heart or your lungs, and then you're done. Game over. I'm glad to go to the farm. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Listen. If you want to see what women go through for freaking butts, look at a video of a BBL getting done.
Friends are really excited.
Let's do this, shall we?
Fat ass. Yeah, it's rough. When you see it, it's even worse because you can see it, you can feel it, you can hear it. It's all slurpy and stuff, and you can see it's like spatting blood and fat into these suction jars, and then they have to let the fat and blood separate out, and then they do what's called not filtering. What's it called? Not cleaning, something like that though. Sterilization, not sterile. I can't remember what it is, but there's some dead fat that'll come out, some bad fat, and they don't put that back in you. So they take this like 2 big ass jars of fat that gets sucked out of your body with a vacuum. So they cut a little keyhole at the size of a belly button, and then they just scrape all around, and you can see it like the skin popping. A lot to impress men. Beauty standards. I don't think it's for men. I think they're doing it to try to compete with the other baddies for attention on the internet. I don't think they're doing it for men. I could be wrong. You love fat? Nah, make deer jerky good. Make your head spin, shoulders. You can't sell it to the bastards, though. Deer jerky's better than beef. I like deer jerky. I like the venison sausage, venison pepperoni. I thought it was just an implant in the butt. No. A BBL, they remove fat from like your inner thighs, your back, your belly, your arms, and then they inject it in your butt. And if you don't have enough fat, they'll use they'll use cadaver fat. You can get butt implants, but that's not a Brazilian butt lift. A BBL is getting fat sucked out of one part of your body and put into other parts of your body. You're so graphic that if you're discretion, listen advice. Sorry.
Risks include light sensitivity and scratchiness. There you go.
That's so horrible.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
It's good. Ready to take a look?
Yeah, definitely.
It looks horrible.
Yeah, those are perfect.
No, they're horrible. No, they're horrible. They're horrible.
Oh,
So what do you think your friends are going to say?
they're gonna want to get their eye color changed too. They're gonna. Oh, yeah, great.
No, she hates it. They look horrible. You screwed up. You screwed up.
I have a question about eye color surgery, and I
she
mean no
screwed
disrespect
up.
to these patients, no disrespect to these.
You go blind, brother. That's what happens. These people go blind. A lot of these people will lose vision, get cataracts, and then they have to get the implants removed and whatnot. Imagine they accidentally slip one in your eye. Right. Done. 40% going to become bugs. Yeah, you could go blind. They get cataracts. They have all these issues because scar tissue grows. Yeah. You have your freaking iris on the end of your finger like a booger.
A little disrespect to these doctors, actually. Because why are they always picking the most unnatural, flattest contacts
that's
to put in these eyes permanently? I have never seen an eye
donating
color
your body
change
to
surgery
science
that
and
has
fat
looked
asses abroad.
natural.
Yeah, right.
What's up with that? Like, she's beautiful, but this is scary. It's always got that dark limbo ring around the outside. You can see it pretty prominently here. I don't know if that's just her natural eye color peeking through or if that's done on purpose, because I've seen that with a lot of these procedures, but it looks beautiful on a natural eye. But here, it just makes it look even flatter, even more like a contact.
Acid in my
Look
face,
at
arms
that.
in my
It looks worse than a Halloween contact.
Yeah, it looks really, really bad. So now, because like lip injections, lip filler, and like cheek filler injections, hyaluronic acid doesn't last very long, and people they're like, I don't want filler, I don't want something that's not me in me. So now they're doing like the BBL thing, where they're sucking fat out of a part of your body and putting it in your boobs, lips, cheeks, and forehead, eye, I think I would have kept having my brown eyes instead of unnatural. Yeah, yes. Yeah, it looks dead. Lizard, demonic. Agreed. Look at here. Let's do this, guys. Let's do this. I have technology. Look at this. You want to go? You want to go even more? Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Look at that. Does that look comfortable? Confusing to you. It's confusing to me too. It's like, but it's, you have the app, you have the filters on the apps that let you change your eye color. So they're like, oh, gray eyes. Oh, I look so good. Yeah, but that's AI. This is freaking plastic. Yeah, it looks so bad. I can't believe they didn't do better, like feathering or dithering with the color to make it look more like an iris. I mean, they could print whatever they want on these things.
And note how I don't even need to point out which one is the natural eye color.
And look how beautiful the brown eye looks.
The surgically done one. It's this one, obvious. I challenge you to find me an eye color change surgery that does not look scary.
No, we actually talk about this procedure in a recent video, as a matter of fact. But I had to bring it back by, of course, popular demand, because people could not stop talking about that specific category. I'm going to bring it back today. Even after covering it all before, it still almost feels unbelievable. It is something that people are seriously pursuing, which is exactly why it deserves another look. If somebody told you 10 years ago
what up, Cody?
that people wouldn't be discussing a cosmetic.
People, influencers, they want to do anything they can to get a leg up in the influencer game. These influencers are getting, some of these influencers are getting them for free. And they know that they'll look different on the internet. They'll talk about it 3 weeks before they get it done. And people will watch every video they drop every day, 3 times a day, as they talk about 3 weeks and 3 days and 7 seconds before I get my eyes implants done. 2 days, 14 seconds and 9 minutes so I get my eye implants done. And then they'll go get it done. They're like, holy sh, what did I do? I love it. What are you going to tell the doctor? These look like horse shit. What did you do to my head? No, they're not going to say that. They're going to be like, I love it. My friends are all going to want them. They're all going to want to get them too. These are reversible, right? Totally Jamaican, man.
Eye color changes online mean permanently, you probably would have assumed that they're talking about contact lenses, because that made me think at first. At the time, that would have seemed like an obvious explanation, because colored contacts have been around for years upon years.
And they look
that's
so good.
A temporary way to experiment with, different looks and different eye colors. Most people would have never ever imagined that permanent procedures designed to alter one's eye color would eventually become a
These
real
influencers probably get manipulated by agents and stuff. That's freaking demonic right there. Line between compassion and legal constraints. Yeah, dude. Yeah, the influencers, they absolutely look. Listen, I got contacted by the eyeball doctor, and he said, and this is going to be so big for us. This is going to be so big, you're going to go viral. The line between compassion and legal constraints has never been thinner. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Like, these are silicone implants. I understand blue eyes are beautiful, but that's unless you're right. Yeah. Listen, I think a lot of these people have been abused. I think a lot of the people that get like cosmetic surgeries and get gender surgeries, and so I think a lot of these people have been abused. They see themselves in the mirror, they look in the mirror, and they like want to change who they were born as, so they're not as attractive to their abuser type freaking psychology, because it doesn't make sense. Evil Dead. Burn. Viral, but what cause? Right. Yeah, I can't see the likes. I can't see the likes. Speaking of which, double that screen, guys. Oh, jeez. Dude.
Of course.
Dude.
This is awesome. Every day you're gonna wake up and see your new eyes. Is this permanent? It is.
No, brother, no.
Is this permanent?
I don't
How
have
are you
a
not told
supplier.
that this is a permanent eye color changing procedure? This recently went viral, and this guy was.
He said, "Is it permanent?" It's the size. Absolutely. One mother knew father wanted his son, so she convinced her son that she was just a girl to hurt the dad. There's sick people. Yes. Body dysmorphic disorder. Yeah, but what do you think that's from? What do you think that's from? Like the body dysmorphic disorder. That's not from. Like I'd say there's a certain percentage that is from people growing up with filters, and they, like I said earlier, they project themselves to the world through their social media that's filtered. So then, like, imagine like being on your phone 8 hours a day, like filming and recording and seeing yourself on screen and editing videos of yourself. That's all filtered. You see yourself, you program yourself to say that's what I look like. Then you look into the mirror and you don't know who's looking back at you, because it's not the filtered face-tuned face that you've been doing all the editing with and recording with. And that, I think there's a percentage of that, but I think a lot of this dysmorphia is from abuse. Yeah, they definitely look robotic. Absolutely. Oscar Whiskey Tango.
Getting cooked in the comments section. I mean, he didn't necessarily choose a normal looking eye color, and you probably also knew that this keratopigmentation procedure is a non-FDA approved protocol that has been warned against multiple times by the American Ophthalmology Association. This is actually what keratopigmentation looks like up close. It is essentially a tattooing of the cornea that was supposed to be done for patients that are already blind to give them a better cosmetic appearance, but now people with healthy eyes are having it done to change their eye color. To be honest, it doesn't look natural at all. But regardless of what I think, because everyone's going to choose what they like and don't like, this is actually something that could leave a patient at risk of losing their vision. When you tattoo that pigment into the cornea, you're tattooing the most innervated structure in the body, which will lead to dry eye problems, light sensitivity, and sometimes even allergies that could create ulceration of that really important structure. This procedure definitely has a lot of risks, and I can tell you, I would never get a procedure done like this and ask if it's permanent after getting it done.
Yeah, that's
temporary cosmetic changes, the one that can just reverse. It's reversible or it can be removed. These procedures involve lasting alterations, the one that most people recognizable features on one's face, which obviously are the eyes. And I have to admit, Islanders, this is one of the procedures that immediately grabbed my attention when I first started seeing this discussion online. As I said that before in my previous video, there was something about the idea that felt almost futuristic, yet it was
Right. Tattoo my balls before I tattoo my eyes. Yeah, I ain't tattooing either one, but I'd probably tattoo my balls for my eyes too, definitely.
Being discussed as a real option by real people. The more I looked into it, the more I understood why it generated such strong reactions from both the supporters as well as the critics. And just FYI, one of these procedures can cost you anywhere between $8 to $10 to $15 US. So I'm just saying,
I think she means
$1,000 is often viewed as one of those most unique part of a person's appearance. So people compliment your eyes all the time. And then, as I said before in the previous video, people write songs about the eyes, poems about the eyes, stories have been written about the eyes. Eyes are frequently described as the windows to somebody's soul or to your personality, which gives them a level of a significance
that's
that
voluntary
goes
human
beyond
trial at
the
this point.
physical appearance. So you find that.
Why do you think that door opened, Nexus? What process or what protocol, what product do you think pushed this stuff that allowed allowed experimental things to be done. What? Take a guess. Take a guess. What things people get done? The government allowed people to get done with very little research on long-term effects that opened the doors up to have a lot of this stuff done. It looks demonic. That hairline, bruh. What's up, Dean? I've done hundreds of tattoos, and there's no way I could do that on myself or another human. Brother, I don't even know, like, the people that just do the whites of the eyes. I know it's not the freaking tattoo gun. There is a guy that tried to use a tattoo gun on the whites of the eyes and ended up blinding his patient. It was a pretty good-looking woman, got both her eyes, blinded both eyes now because he tried to use a tattoo gun on her eyes rather than using the syringe. And
when certain traits are constantly being celebrated online, some people inevitably begin asking whether those features can be recreated on them. Social media, guys, really has a way of turning personal preferences into a widespread beauty standard. And once enough attention is focused on a specific look, demands far ways to achieve it.
This also happens with the eyes of tribes in Afghanistan. This has done years of exposure to sandstorms. Wow.
As they should, my business people, sometimes in a way that would have seemed unimaginable only
how you doing, Lola?
A few years later. And even right now, if I'm to be honest with you guys, realistically, sometimes I wonder if this is even viable. But anyway, we move. So the fact that this procedure continues generating so
even
much
trans
attention,
surgery
even after we have discussed it, you know, previously says a lot.
No, it wasn't trans stuff. It was the COVID shot. They opened up the door legally for uncertified things that didn't have long-term effect studies done. But the blonde woman that was talking about the ribs, her name was the gender surgeon. That's why she was like, oh, feminization. And that opened up the doors for a lot of plastic surgery stuff, like ribs, rib breaking and stuff like that. But what was done to the law, what was acceptable to be able to do to a human, to be able to do on a human, was pushed through that. So now people are like, okay, well, this was only tested for a few months and it was given to the whole world. Obviously, these 3 people that got this done aren't dead, so everybody go in it. Hanging in there, good brother. In Russia and Africa, they broke pens to soak into the eyes. Clip one, they went back into space. Jeez. Trials, right. What up, the core, brother? I'm doing good, brother Lola. The shots, yeah.
About how shocking people really find it. Every time it comes up in our conversation, there seems to be a new wave of reaction from people who cannot believe that altering the eye color has moved beyond a temporary solution into a world of permanent cosmetic procedures. You know, it remains.
And you would think logically, like, if you don't like the color of your eyes and you're going to get them changed, why would you get it done permanent? If you already know that you might not like your eye color for a long period of time and you want to change it, you think you would do it in a way like now you got freaking Nova Green, right? Well, maybe you like that for 3 years, but then what are you going to do? Change your eyes again? So why not just use contacts? Why not use a filter when you're online and a contacts when you go out in real life? These are the new Dr. Kevorkian out of cosmetic surgery. Yeah. I think they did make it whites of their eyes visible at night. Notice everybody making everything a puzzle. It does seem that way, brother. It does seem that way. Doing good. I'm doing good, Thakor, brother.
One of those topics that instantly captures the attention because it challenges the assumption about what cosmetic enhancement can and cannot do.
I hate everything about the
speaking of self-expression, our next procedure might actually be one of the most entertaining one on today's list. While some people are
very, very, very here. Look. We'll look this real quick. I know Jim's got something he wants to watch too, so we'll do that in a second, but people who have had problems with eye color changing surgery. No, not me.
Throwback all the way to our very first season when we met Mark, who traveled abroad to change his brown eyes to blue. A dangerous procedure. We actually warned him to leave him blind, if you remember.
Yep.
The lens is the same lens used in cataract surgeries for the past.
Why do experimentation of contrast against convince people to do it?
No, that's
right.
simply not true, young man. It's important to let your viewers understand that a 50% chance of eventually going blind is
50% chance.
That's so wildly high. The reality is all cosmetic procedures, like all procedures generally, have side effects.
Shut up. If you success, then you're if it's successful, then you feel a lot of pressure to spread out. Right, and the transification too. But like because that's basically what it is. The average person spends $20,000 to $30,000 in a lifetime on medical care. The average trans patient spends $1.7 million. So making that like you can it's okay. And you learn this very young now. You learn it might be okay if you were born without boobs that you can get boobs because you might be transitioning. So now everybody you're seeing online in those new spaces, this new thing, it's all cosmetic surgery, but they call it gender affirming care. So they're like, well, it's gender affirming care for Billy turning into Betty. So for me, it's fine for just to get a boob job or change my eye color or cut out some ribs because it's been normalized in order to try to get the money grab on the fad. Flip a coin, brother.
Are trying to look taller, slimmer, or just simply different. Others are paying more money to achieve an appearance that looks like it came straight out of a vampire movie.
Hey guys, so this is the process of getting fangs permanently bonded onto your teeth. So first up, he finds your shade, and my teeth aren't as white as they look on camera. They're very white, and he told me that, but I do use the whitening filter. He then cleans your teeth, and I think this is etching, like to prepare the tooth so that the...
So this kid even used the whitening filter while he was in the dentist chair. So he couldn't even be honest enough. And so that's probably his problem. He's seeing his teeth all the time with the whitening filter on his phone. So then he's going to want to get that done. And then if he still can't do it, then he's going to change it until he gets it cosmetically done. And I'm telling you, this does a lot to people's brains. If you surgically put my brain into the head of, I'd still have a Jamaican accent, man. Like Jack. It's my genie in a bottle. Get your eyes tattooed with dicyanine. The red night vision. Oh, yeah. Good idea. Good idea. Yeah.
Bonding sticks, but I'm honestly not sure.
Yeah, you need vitamin
whatever
K.
he does, he prepares your tooth, and then he puts these little weird papery things to separate it so that your other teeth don't get the bonding on them.
Latex.
He then uses a UV light to
silicone.
harden whatever he just put on my teeth. I'm honestly
Resin.
not sure. And then he goes straight in with the bond.
Listen, he doesn't even know what these people are putting in his body. I'm not even sure what they're making my teeth out of. It's elixir of life. We used to play Scribble.
Mixture, and this is basically what creates the fake.
We can. I haven't played it in a while, but yeah, we
tooth. And people get this done all the time with their real teeth to look natural, but obviously I'm getting fangs. He then dried my mouth out and began filing them down into the shape. It only took about 30 minutes, and it wasn't very expensive. And this is the final result. I can get them removed whenever, but they are permanent if I want.
Come with me to get my permanent vampire fangs. Yes, I did travel all the way from Salem, Massachusetts to Las Vegas, Nevada to get this done. I did used to live in Las Vegas, so I got to see my friends, and Vegas Smile Suites is the place to go if you want your permanent fangs. They are an actual dentist that also happens to do fangs. These are permanent veneers. They are composite veneers. So if you want to know more about the process, you can check out their page. No, they don't shave down your tooth. There is no pain. And it actually only took about an hour to do. They basically build it onto your tooth. So think of it as they're kind of extending your natural canines. First, they put the composite bonding on, and then they shape them, they sharpen them. I did definitely ask them to make them a little bit sharper, because obviously I'm trying to be a vampire. After they're finished, they do make you chew a piece of gum for a bit. You have to do a bite test just to make sure you can still chew.
Listen, they know that they're turning these people into forever patients. They know this.
That's pretty much it, y'all. They came out so amazing. I am so happy. Now I'm finally a vampire.
Until you bite your lip.
So Islanders family, I have to admit that this might be the procedure that made me laugh the most while researching today's topic. we're gonna chat about it. The reason was not necessarily because I think it's ridiculous, but rather than it perfectly demonstrates how beauty standards have become incredibly personalized. I'm gonna just put it away there. For some people, the goal is to look youthful and to maintain a fresh appearance, and for others, the goal is to look glamorous and, of course, polished. So the vampire fang cosmetic procedures have emerged as a niche form of aesthetic dentistry, so in which individuals alter the shape of their canine teeth to create a sharper or more dramatic appearance.
Okay, like those lip fillers.
This may sound like something pulled from like a fantasy movie, it is a real trend, guys, that has attracted people who just want their appearance to reflect a specific aesthetic rather than the traditional, what we deem as the traditional beauty ideals. And to be completely honest, guys, if somebody had predicted this trend years ago, I probably, as usual, would not have believed them. Yet, this is exactly where we find ourselves today in 2026. What makes this trend so fascinating is that it is not really connected to, you know, the conventional beauty standard at all.
Thanks, guys. Now I know what approximately my accent sounds like. I am not from Romania. I am not from Transylvania. And I got a lot of questions about the teeth. I had really prominent canines, of like natural ones, and I just decided to enhance them a bit. As you can see, like the bottom ones are natural and the top ones are enhanced, and like the bottom ones are pretty much what the top ones looked like. So this was just really to even them out and like make them
vampires vampires like Georgie's ex-girlfriend, a soul-sucking beast that will suck you dry if they don't get what they want. If they don't get what they want, they'll leave to go find somebody else that'll get what they want from. What is the African brother? Iconic. One of my acquaintances had natural vampire teeth that had removed because she thought it was the reason she wasn't. No way. Same here. Use the crab crack. I like crab legs, brother.
Stand out a bit more. So yeah, of course I had them done, and it was one of the best decisions ever. My first and I think only cosmetic procedure ever.
This is to anyone thinking of getting freckles tattooed on their face.
What an idiot.
Don't.
Let's tattoo freckles on my face. A lot of you probably don't even know that these freckles that I have on my nose, I did a long time ago myself. They're not even real. They're literally tattoos. I think they look pretty dang real. I feel like most people never question if they are or not. I feel like just because they're only on my nose, it looks a little bit weird. So I kind of want to add a little bit onto my cheeks. For the ink, I'm using microblading ink, like the type of ink that people use when they microblade tattoos, because I felt like it makes sense for your face since it already is used for your face, and it's like the color that would match your skin tone, if that makes sense. And it's also the same color that I did for my first freckles. And for the needle, everything, I'm using a stick and poke.
Might want to.
I got off Amazon.
Georgie, you might want to wait a couple of months, brother. Why the tattoo? They're crazy. It's almost over, Jim. 30 years ago, my buddy would do acrylic fangs for people. My brother's ex-girlfriend had her baby teeth until she was like 20. Her baby teeth fangs. And then she got them pulled out. And he glued her baby teeth canines onto his canines. It looks like smallpox. That's what the other one ended up. Yeah, I wonder what the fall of Rome had to do with vampire teeth and freckle tattoos. And now that the West is taking we'll see what happens.
My skin is clean and prepped, and I'm going to be looking in this mirror. Call me crazy. I don't care. I love decorating myself. I feel like this is fun. I've always wished that I had freckles. I hope this isn't a hate crime. My eyes are already watering. I also found a reference photo on Pinterest that I'm looking at right now of someone with actual natural freckles, so I'm trying to make them look natural. If you want to know if this hurts, just ask yourself if stabbing yourself in the face with a bunch of tiny needles over and over.
Yeah, there's freckle spray. Yes, she's crazy. Yes, she's crazy.
And then you have your answer.
Yeah, girls' freckles are hot.
You have to go over them like a bunch of times for it to even like actually stay.
Yeah, absolutely.
You also have to go deep enough so that it stays, which is when it hurts. Okay, I'm gonna go over them one more time. I know that you can't see them very well right now, and once I go over them again, hopefully they'll show up a little bit more, but I feel like it's one of those things where the last time I did it, you couldn't really tell until like the next day, and then they seemed really, really bright, and then they kind of like fade after a while, so I'm hoping that it's gonna go the same as it did last time. I think I'm just gonna stop there. I feel like if I want to add more, I can later, but I want to see what they look like because, like I said, it's really hard to tell right now. So I don't want to put too many on. Essentially,
Yeah,
it's definitely like swollen and red right now, which is I just poked my skin with a needle a bunch of times. So I guess we'll see how they turn out.
So you see, guys, when you look at it, you know, it's just how beauty standard, how they can just quickly reverse themselves.
Right. Yes, that happens often. It's this online competition of beauty. Girls, they hype each other up to do bad things. And often, like this happens a lot in the trans community. People want to see if they can convince somebody to get something cut off or added on. And sometimes they don't like each other. It's absolutely crazy. Sometimes it's helpful, but a lot of times it ain't. And then you'll say, I bet you like, you know what, you've heard of the term mean girls. Right? Like they absolutely do that. They absolutely, and some of them are guys that are acting like girls. They just got girl pictures, you know, on the internet. There's guys acting like girls, and they're like, they can't get girls, so they want girls to do horrible things to themselves like this. Like, you know, what would make you look so hot? My best friend did this, and she can't stop getting the guys. Like everybody's in her DMs. Makes the world turn. Crazy girls. Guy with a crazy bitch with a fantastic face. Yeah, right. Yeah, but not enough because there's other girls with better faces. Always somebody with a better face. And if I just had something else, I know it's. Oh, I always wanted freckles. Nobody loves me. Right. You don't even know who you are. All this DARPA's fault with the creation of the internet. Yep. Thank DARPA. All this is DARPA's fault.
The perfect example of how dramatically the public perception can change over time. People with freckles, comment down below. You guys know what I'm talking about because for many years, freckles were often treated as imperfections. The people that had them tried to hide them. They use makeup routine to frequently focus on covering them. And beauty campaigns regularly promoted smooth or just even toned skin.
She looked so much better with the freckles. With one nostril. You look so hot with one nostril. You get all the guys. There's always half Russian, half Asian girls are hot. So yep. She looks like rash. Yeah, it looks like a rash. It looks like she got freaking chicken pox. But this chick looks so much better with the freckles. She looks so much better like that than she does like this.
Beauty campaigns regularly promoted smooth or just even toned skin as the ideal. The emphasis was on creating like a flawless, uniformed appearance, and freckles were rarely presented as a desirable feature at that time. Then the cultural
anything you don't have that you can pay to have is what the algorithm will make you want. Ate a $100 bill and broke out in pennies. Looks like a cheetah. Yeah, I thought it looked really good. And then she put all that bullshit on her face.
And began to shift as it always does. So what had once been viewed as something to conceal gradually became something now to highlight. As much as I said, guys, the beauty thing is a forever changing thing. Freckles started appearing in fashion campaigns. Influencers began emphasizing them in photos, and makeup enthusiasts even started drawing them on intentionally. So you see, I'm showing you guys. Social media filters even added realistic
Michael Jackson
freckles automatically, helping to normalize or to popularize the look among many millions.
100%. I mean, not 100% of them, but get that. Absolutely, William. Yes, absolutely. They haven't even started to age yet. Once they get to the point where their money is gone and they're alone and there's no money to fix up, and then they'll start doing odd things for money. And then it'll be like, if only I could, if I would have had a partner throughout life, everything would have been fine. But typically people like this feel that they deserve more than what they actually deserve. So they're always looking ahead, higher. If they see themselves as a 10, but they're a 6, they want a 10. Man, but you're a 10 man that's rich is not going to continue to fund you constantly getting revisions on your body unless you're his mistress. Then they says she was talking about her herpes tattoos on her face. Yeah, it's absolutely wild. You pull up a thumbnail picture I found really funny. So 10 things to do Donald Trump with that picture. Look it up later, brother. Try hards. Yep. After 30, it's gonna be rough. None of this government commercials to sue doctors and surgeons. Yeah, that's gonna be happening a lot too. Listen, I think our medical industry, a lot of it is going away once the trans regret kicks in, and you have all these girls and boys that have sterilized themselves. They're gonna want how much money do you think? Never have a family. You're sterilized. You can't have a family ever, and that's the point of life. They've been propagandized to think that it's not. Yeah, they're going to get a big old settlements. You watch.
Of its users.
I did not expect this first video to get this much hate. People in the comments section went crazy. So let me show the results and elaborate what PMU freckles is all about. This is 4 months healed. My freckles are made with permanent makeup pigments and will fade and disappear over the next 3 to 4 years. I will do more videos explaining, but most important of all is to do whatever makes you happy. I will not have...
Yeah, whatever makes you happy, besides finding somebody that'll make you happy and like having kids. One of the only things that can chemically make you happy. Medical insurance always make us, yep. Hollywood does it. Yes, they absolutely do. Yeah, she's cute. Quieties? Always the whites. I always take my shoes off in the park. Now I'm in the park.
Have people judging my clients for wanting to look extra cute.
Here are tattooed freckles for my client Katrina. She's been drawing on her freckles with makeup for quite a long time and is now ready for a look with a bit less maintenance. She wanted the heaviest coverage level that I typically offer in one sitting. Her skin is honestly remarkably flawless, so I can already imagine how beautifully these are going to heal. The pre-draw looks a little bit insane, but as with every client, the placement is customized to their goals.
Yeah, it's just like Georgie thinks he can fix his girlfriend. Yeah, there ain't no fixing her.
And with their face shape and structure and
they
mind.
Don't look real. They look fake as hell.
They hurt.
And she's gonna end up using freaking coverage over it anyway. She's gonna put makeup on over top of it.
Girl, I felt like you're poking with a toothpick.
And if you're still worried, I always numb for my second pass, and people are always surprised at how well it works. You can't feel it, eh?
No, literally.
Perfect.
That's awesome.
Here are the fresh results. These were really, really fun to do. Katrina had me cracking up the entire appointment, despite how serious these videos look. It can be a little hard to trust at this stage because they look so dark, but they are going to fade about 50%, and they're also going to shrink up just a little bit in the skin.
So as the trend continues to grow, cosmetic tattooing entered the picture. Some people choose to have a freckle.
That's common. That's very, very common. That's very, absolutely common. Absolutely common. Man, I saw this one. Buck Angel had this. They put the dude's urethra on backwards, and they have other ones where they take skin off another part of your body to make the inside of your body, and they made it so the hair was growing into the body. The hair side, they didn't laser. You're supposed to laser kill all the hair follicles, and they didn't do that. So that was infections and stuff. And they had to cut out the inside of this trans female's body, trans woman's body, whatever you want to call them, because they put the freaking hair side in the wrong way. You had to say I could fix her abort mission. It's not worth it. Absolutely. Yeah, her skin was flawless. Let's screw it up. And instead of just using and it would have taken her like about that long to put them on in the morning. Toenail tattoos? Yeah, Buck Angel. Yep. Do you recall why young men get perms? No, I don't know why young men get perms. I had a small black acne on my face for many years. I haven't noticed it until I saw this video. Now it's the most beautiful part of your face.
Applied semi-permanently or even permanently to achieve a youthful, sun-kissed appearance that aligns with the current beauty preferences. Now, what makes this trend particularly interesting is how clearly it illustrates the power of culture and media and just a social influence. A feature that was once criticized can now be celebrated. People once spent time and money trying to hide back in the days can eventually become something others are seeking out or even paying to recreate. So it serves, guys, as a reminder that beauty standards are often far more temporary than they appear. What is considered attractive or fashionable in today's society?
Well, what I was talking about was a guy that got turned into a girl, and when they made the vagina, they took skin off a part of the body to make the inside, but they put it on the wrong way, so the hair kept growing into the body and then got infected. And then so that all had to be cut back out. It's just like absolutely nuts. It's all absolutely experimental. It's all experimental.
Not hold the same standard or same status maybe a decade from now. So that constant evolution is not.
All right, we got 3 more minutes, Jim. Then
it does reveal how fluid.
We got 3 more minutes, Jim. Cue up that next video. I didn't copy the
changeable
URL.
and changeable our ideas of beauty really is. Yeah.
I got freckles tattooed on my face today, and before I show you, I have to preface. They look very scary right now. They're going to look scary for about a week, and then they're going to fade significantly, okay? Just keep that in mind. All right. The placement is so good. I love, love, love the placement. But yeah, these are going to fade like 60%, basically. They're gonna like flake off, and then... So in a week, they'll look significantly lighter, and then in 6 weeks, 5 weeks, they'll be at like their actual...
The number one surgery that plastic surgeons want to do is rhinoplasties, because it always ends up turning into like 30 surgeries, at least multiple surgeries. It's once somebody gets their nose done, they don't recognize themselves when they look in the mirror anymore. So then they start changing other things. It can't be the nose. The nose is perfect. So now it's everything else. Yep, L's for everyone. What up, Mr. Pollard? He's an old-fashioned Woody. Old-fashioned. That's what they...
color, but they're also going to get smaller because there's a lot of these that are like not very deep. They're very shallow to kind of give that like shaded, realistic look. I'm very excited. I already love them.
So Islanders, after looking at all of these procedures, the biggest takeaway isn't necessarily the cosmetic surgery.
Right, Joseph Mengele woke up, damn, those woke doctors are mess up right. Oh, man, they're going overboard. Please pull up a picture of a dude wearing a t-shirt on the back says 10 things I trust more than Donald Trump. Flint, Michigan tap water, gas station sushi, Bill Cosby as the bartender, Taco Bell bathrooms, Tom Brady putting air in my tires, a shark with a pet me sign, a North Korean trial, a shot from Dr. Kevorkian, a Casey Anthony daycare, and a fart when I have diarrhea. What the stupid lady she was hot for? Yeah, right. But there's no man to tell her that she's hot. There's no man around to tell her that she's hot, so she's got to compare herself to other women on the internet. I can dig together a tattoo gun with a big pen and a Walkman, a prison tattoo gun. Don't forget about the Botox and dermal fillers. What up, sister? There's plastic surgeons murdered Joan Rivers for saying Michelle Obama was a tranny. Yeah, let's look. Okay, let's see. Boom, 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 boom. All right, let's see. Oops. Not the right one. Nope. I wasn't it either. What did I do wrong here? Oops. Oh, come on. Let's see if this works. There it is. Screwed that up too. All right, here we go.
Hello, I'm from the government, with an update on humanity's gentle slide back into feudalism. As foretold in scriptures like Idiocracy and Back to the Future 2, we are now entering what experts call the Find Out stage. Brought to you by Brando. It's got electrolytes. And now please rise for our first trillionaire. The product of decades of policy failure, taxpayer handouts and ketamine. Hail! Of course, when you wake up to the obscene inequality we've enabled, you'll want to fight back. That's why billionaires are building the tools to protect themselves. From you, tools like Palantir. Hi, I'm from Palantir, the military contractor and AI software company, named after the all-powerful Seeing Stones Tolkien warned us not to leave in the hands of evil bastards. Thankfully, we are very wise and balanced, like our CEO, who can't stop talking about killing people, wants an AI arms race, and gets a boner talking about the West's superiority in applying organized violence. And our founder, who thinks Greta is the Antichrist, knows about the Antichrist, and no longer believes freedom and democracy are compatible. Hail! By freedom, of course, Pete means freedom for him and his broligarch mates to rule the world. And that's where Palantir comes in. Let's meet some of our valued clients. Hello, I'm from ICE. Kidnapping people off the street is hard work, but not with Palantir. Palantir makes it easy for us to link your tax file, social security license, and plates into AI-driven hit lists. Sure, we mostly use it on migrants now, but Palantir will come in real handy when we need to round up the resistance.
I do it all the time.
Hello, I'm from the government of Israel. Committing war crimes is hard work.
I do it all the time, Tyler, the creator. Didn't you just say it was
thousands of people, even if most of them are civilians, according to our own reports. Thanks for supporting our genocide, Palantir. Here at the British government, we heard Palantir is used for war crimes and said, hey, let's give him a contract with our NHS. Could someone abuse that data? No. It's not like Palantir's UK CEO is the grandson of a known fascist, Nazi-loving anti-Semite. Hail! Here at the Australian government, we have no fucking clue. So while others are ditching Palantir due to fears over data safety and its ties to El Duce, we've let Palantir into our defense department, banks, and even supermarkets. G'day, I'm from Coles. Price gouging you wasn't enough, so we hired Palantir to track and cut costs on our already underpaid serfs. I mean, staff. Sadly for us, people are realizing what fucking psychos we are here at Palantir. That's why France just ended our contract. British MPs want us out of the NHS, and GetUp is campaigning to kick us out of Coles, which is a good start. Except Palantir is just one head of the Hydra. The underlying problem are these billionaire shitcoins and the feudal dystopia they're building around us. So if you like democracy, now would be a great time to wake the fuck up and stop them while you still can. This has been a message from your local government franchise. Good luck. Authorized by the Department of Tech Bro Feudalism.
Tech Bro Feudalism. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Maybe Dubs should put a prism that covers your eyes. Right, that's what I do. You want to surf? Not be a surf. Yeah, the problem I have with the anti-billionaire thing is when you talk to the people that want to go anti-billionaire and go full socialist, communist, when you ask what their role will be, they always answer, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? Like they haven't thought about it. They always want to be the billionaire. They want to be the ones, they're too much smarter than we are, so they obviously need to control the serfdom. And that's the problem. A lot of this seems like jealousy. I understand the issue with Palantir. I understand the issue with the control. The AI uses the algorithmic issues to find out what's going on, when, why, where, and how. I absolutely do. But I cannot get on board with the boss babe hate you don't seem happy. When I ask people to win my vote, make me a Democrat, make me a communist, make me a socialist. They are such bad representations of who I want to spend my time around. It's always militant, unhappy, life is nothing, and it all needs to be controlled by them. It's like, ask the people that want to push, the people that are having the Zoom calls, having the meetings, saying that this is the way we're going to set the government up, this is how money's going to be distributed. What's your job going to be? Ask them that and see the look on their face. It's every single time, because they're telling you what your job will be and how you'll be part of the lower government and how there won't be a Senate, and your job will be to do your job, and then you'll have like basically jury duty for your time in government. And then doctors will get paid the same amount as plumbers. Okay, great. Then if you die because the doctor is only going to do $50 worth of work, right? Like people don't understand quality and value. And I think that's huge in this new stuck up champagne communist, champagne socialist environment that we have going on. And I think a lot of these people want to just burn everything down to try to do away with their student loan debt. The Musk family championed the political movement called the technocracy, for what young people don't know. And anyway, I learned this. She mentioned that Elon Musk was on ketamine. His son, trans daughter son, said that, and AOC said that. But come to find out, AOC took $29,000 from like the Hollywood ketamine doctor. Or gave him $29,000. One of the two, I think, gave him $29,000. So what was that for? Was that for ketamine therapy? But anyway, regardless, I want to live in a world where people will work as hard as these people to make the things that we enjoy. And I don't believe you're ever going to get to a world where people will put in the time required to be a physician for the value that they'll get back of $28 an hour or the equivalent. I just don't see it happening. Who's going to do it? They just be like, I'll just be a plumber. And then we're going to run out of doctors, right? And then we're going to have doctors, and then the doctors are going to end up not doing good work, killing off the people so that the communist government will have less people to deal with. And we're heading right back to Mao. We're heading right back to 100 million dead. I just don't see it working out. I don't see it working out. Yeah, that's not true. The poor socialists would definitely refuse the millions. Yeah, those people aren't anti-billionaires. They just don't want people to support communism to be billionaires. Yeah, and you don't ever hear about Bill Gates. You like she didn't mention Bill Gates. She didn't mention Bill Gates's billions of dollars or Soros's billions of dollars. And this is where it starts to become obvious. The less you know, the more that stuff makes sense. But the more you know, the more you realize, well, hey, what about the other billionaires that are on your side right now that you're not mentioning? They're promised a high rank when this all goes down. Communists are people that have a chip on their shoulder. Yes, and it's obvious they're not happy. So the people in the third class knew the ship was sinking while the people in the first class were still shipping champagne. Thank you, Mo, brother. I identify with no political identity. I just don't trust the pedo billionaires, same club leaders. No, I agree. I agree. And one of the problems I currently have, and I'll show it. This is a big problem. So I had to choose to decide Democrat or Republican. Where were we going? I'm not voting for Trump because he's not. I don't have to worry about voting for him. So any problems? The problems people say, they say Trump this, Trump. Okay, well, that's not 2028. He's already president. We don't have to talk about who's going to vote for him. He's not going to be available to be voted for. So am I going to vote Democrat or Republican? Well, who are you putting up as a Democrat for the president? And who did you put up last time? You put up Kamala and Tim Walz as the vice president. So we almost had Tim Walz as vice president, and everybody's saying MAGA is watching out for pedophiles, helping the pedophiles and whatnot. But okay, let me do this. I'll do it. How many billionaires on Earth? Oh, U.S. How many billionaires in the U.S.? 3,500 on. Okay. How many billionaires in the U.S.? Not 800 and okay, and this is the thing. So there's almost 1,000, but they only ever talk about 6 to 8. So what about the other freaking 980? They don't talk about them. This is how you know they're not serious. They're not serious. They're only talking about 8 that are publicly available. They're doing this for a reason, to get emotionally manipulate people so that they get what they want. There are about 1,000 billionaires. Let's reduce that number. Okay. So hold that real quick. Hold that, anonymous. Okay, hold that thought. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. And this is why I'm not a Democrat anymore. There you go.
All right, a New Jersey Assemblywoman.
Okay, where'd I go?
Just weeks ago, a convicted sex offender and a foreign national was shielded from deportation by the governor of Minnesota. Laotian national Tu Li Vang was convicted of repeatedly sexually abusing a 10-year-old girl in the state of Minnesota. He even tried to pay his victim for her silence, and he called his heinous crimes a minor thing. Just days before this foreign sex offender was scheduled to be deported, Tim Walz, the governor, issued him a pardon, setting him free to once again endanger the children of America. Well, this week I revoked his legal status in the United States, and as a result...
Right, he was almost the vice president of the United States. He was almost the vice president of the United States. And he didn't have the forethought to say, this is going to make the Democrats look very, 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 very bad. I was having a conversation yesterday about whether I was going to be a Democrat or a Republican, and the pedo thing came up, and I was like, well, let's look into it. And then come to find out, this pops up, and I'm like, okay, what now? We've had that. People keep going back to the Epstein files, and we got some access to the Epstein files, and it seems like the government is helping these people. Obviously, the Democrats didn't release it; the Republicans did. But then, if it's wackadoodle or not, then the Democrats should have released it before the Republicans had their hands on it, right? So you can't really say which is true, which is not. But the Democrats definitely didn't release any of it, and at least the Republicans did. So great. And then you actually have proof that the guy that was almost the vice president of the United States, that the Democrats did not primary. They put Kamala Walz in line right after Biden. And then Walz, that same guy, does this. This is crazy. So this is what everybody's saying the Republicans are doing. But here's proof that the Democrats, very high-ranking Democrats, are doing it. And pardoning a guy that abused a 10-year-old girl time and time and time again. That's craziness. We did a lot of bank CEOs. Bonuses are tax dollars. The president is still protecting pedos right now. Which ones? I just want proof. I'm so tired of the left and the right telling me shit that I can't find data on. Some of these communist socialist countries, billionaires going to billion. What? Some of this communist or socialist countries, billionaires going to billionaires, no matter the political stance. Yeah, and they'll change sides. They'll switch sides. Like I said, so there's almost 1,000 billionaires in the United States, and the left only ever talks about taxing like 6 of them. It took a law to make releasing fit laws. Right. But why didn't it happen before, dude? It was since like 2009 we had this evidence on this guy. Yeah, I don't trust the Republicans or the Democrats, but when it comes to, like, everybody goes to protecting pedos for the Republicans, but the only evidence I can find of definitely documented protecting pedophiles is Tim Walz. He needs to release the unredacted files. I agree. Absolutely. 100%. Pedos across the aisle and down the middle. It's not about left or right. I agree also. But when it comes to, like, I was in the movie industry. I was the left of the left. I was in, and nobody is a Democrat anymore. Nobody. Everybody is and saying, I want to save the Democrat Party by voting Republican. That's where we're all going because of stuff like this. So why is everybody leaving the Democrat Party? Everybody in high levels, the union leaders of the movie industry, the IATSE leaders, and they're no longer supporting the Democrat Party in a hope to save it. That's crazy. It's crazy. And then stuff like this comes out. And then how much more? And what's going on? Listen. And then you find out that the Biden administration was looking into Gavin Newsom and to set a woman up with a wire to get crap on Gavin Newsom. And like, that's crazy. So then they were looking into that. Were they looking into that just to have dirt on Newsom in case he went up against Kamala? Yeah, and that's crazy stuff too. The left talks about taxing a lot of them. I understand. But they should definitely publicize more than just 8. You know what I mean? It's like, and they don't talk about Gates and they don't talk about Soros. Absolutely. And those are people that should absolutely be taxed into oblivion. Absolutely. All right, everybody. I love y'all. Listen, I got no idea what's going on into the midterms. The people that I talk to, the people that I have in my basically moderate circle around here, everybody's voting Republican. People that were freaking, we got people you would not expect, absolutely not expect. He talked about pedos 5 years ago. Democrats called you conspiracy theorists. Now they accuse Republicans of protecting the pedos. This is the thing. It's we constantly get just keywords. And then when we get actual evidence, actual data, it goes the other way. And I think people are just tired of being lied to and tired of being emotionally manipulated to vote one way or the other. And it seems like so other people just seem to will be able to keep power. And I understand if I was a politician and I stole a bunch of money and made myself rich in power, I'd want to stay in power too, so that my successor wouldn't say, hey, he stole a bunch of money, enriched himself, and then ruined my credibility for business and whatnot. I absolutely understand that. All right, I love you guys. I'm going to bed. I appreciate y'all hanging out. How come Democrats didn't demand the receipt? And that's another thing. I mentioned that, but that's okay. We wouldn't, if Trump was in the Epstein files and there was a lot of Republicans in the Epstein files, it would have been a kill shot. They should have absolutely released them. Yeah, a lot of people feel that way too. Dem see it coming that way. Going to get caught soon. To saying about Republicans to get ahead of it. Both parties campaign on racism for border for the last 10 years. Yeah, all right. I love y'all. I'll see you guys tomorrow.